Big night too for young Lenny Hayes, making his debut in front of his home crowd. So well done, Andrew Thompson. Been in good form so far this season. This is a big, big game for both sides. So here we go, round 5. Saturday night football coming away on 7. A slippery SCG. McKernan and Elliott in the ruck. Stevens trying to get that ball away early. Andrew Thompson celebrating game number 15. Holds it up in the middle.
And it's Evan Hewitt that's starting at centre-half forward, which has allowed McKernan to start in the middle.
The Blakey kick is smothered, taken by Francis. St Kilda going to the left of screen. Walton in all sorts of trouble. Tried to throw it clear. Pressure on the Kangaroo defence. McCartney's kick is high. A couple of them chasing for it. Underneath it and taking the mark is Clayton. So the Kangaroos defending early to Pike. He's on half-back. Looks towards centre wing. Conditions not too bad at the moment. Pecker. Young. Going back in towards the middle. Taken by Wakeland. Light rain falling. Really only misty rain at the moment. Wakeland gives it to Peckett. He goes up towards right half forward. Archer is there, so too is Mickey Martin and the heater. Mickey Martin picks it up well, the big man. Puts the hand pass out into the open spaces, looking towards the boundary line, and Maxie Hodgson sees it over.
We've already seen, Sandy, where both Matthew Young and Justin Peckett have combined down in the St Kilda defence. They were very good last week against the Bulldogs, and we'll have to be very careful of them tonight. And Young picking up Winston Abraham, but it looks like Abraham's trying to drag him out of the play.
Stewie Lowe celebrated a birthday a couple of days ago, pops it down towards Stephen Ziller, who kicks to half forward. Martin again gets a kind bounce in front of Heatley, pushes towards centre wing. Thompson there applies a very good tackle. He'll be pumped up for his 50th.
I think, Sandy, it's very important for both sides to play very direct football tonight. Slippery conditions, get it on quickly down the mainstream of the goal line and see if you can score from there.
The only problem really here is that centre, but that's not a major problem as Blakey goes into the open goal for Kangaroos. Blakey's got the first of the line.
Well, an impressive start by the Kangaroos in their opening match here as a home side in Sydney. John Blakey, great running. We know that's part of the strength of his game, and it has been for some 40 or 50 years now, John. Yes, and I think that he hasn't been quite around for that long, Jared, but he has been around for a long time, but he is one of our highest possession getters at the moment, and I'm letting him know that you said that to him afterwards.
He'll really appreciate it too. 32 years of age, game number 279 for John Blakey.
It's like a good bottle of bread, Sandy.
Just gets better. So a good start. McKernan up a little early. Elliott a little toe poke. Again, it's the Kangaroos through the goal kicker going down towards half forward. Young defends, runs his full distance and chips away in towards low on centre wing. Thought about Elliott, gives it away eventually to Francis. Tumbles a wobbly old punt up towards half forward. Couple went early. Heatley's given away a free kick. Well, in fact, he's got it for a push. He thought he'd given it away and then turned and saw the umpire's arm and thought, I've got a little bonus here. So Jason Heatley will have a shot and a chance for the quick answer.
A contentious one. Take us through it, John. Well, I actually thought that Glenn Archer might have got the free kicker, and I don't think Mick Martin will be too happy about that, which is unusual for Mick.
Heatley. Directly in front. 40 metres out. Good looking kick, and the Saints have tied it up here at the SCG. Heatley gets his first goal for goal in the opening couple of minutes.
Well, he's said to have one of the greatest kicking styles in modern day football, Louis.
Yeah, he's very good at it, and he loves the SCG. Just up here, I think last year or 2 years ago, he took us to the sword, and I think I can kick 7 or 8 or 9, but actually one of the best kicking styles going around. Jetta, you know that.
I wonder if that's the start of a big bag tonight.
Good start by both sides here at the SCG. Heatley getting his first with that deadly boot of his. And the quick answer. to John Blakey's opening goal. Pushed wide on centre wing, slapped up towards Matthew Young. Couldn't control it initially. Eventually the hand pass shot out to Stevens. It came from Winston Abraham. Stevens pokes it in towards the centre. Simpson on all fours. He wanted Archer, didn't get him. Back to Stevens again. Pikey had a fresh air shot. Now's lost it to Stephen Zilla. Nathan Burke, the Saint, gives it across to Mitchell. Spears it in towards centre wing and finds Tony Brown. St Kilda go inside 50. Here comes Heatley and Mick Martin, and Mick just pushes to the line. We've got a throw in.
Interesting match up there. We've got Johnny Blakey picking up Tony Francis. The fair bit of height difference there, and of course Tony's been very good for the Saints over the past few weeks.
Just to bring up the date with the benches, boys: Gary Durkay, Matthew Capuano, Brett Allison and Brady Rawlins for the Kangaroos.
Thank you, Dipper. He's down on the boundary line once again. It's little toe poke towards Thompson. Couldn't take it cleanly. Both sides absolutely desperate. The Francis hand pass towards Brown puts him under the pump. It's still in the middle of the ground. Elliott through to 360, but he gets the kick down towards Heatley, and Martin mixes. Get out of my way, I'm coming through. And he does. Back towards the half-back line. There's a panic here for Blakey. Tucks it under his arm and away he ambles. Towards centre wing, but what's he got? What's he got to kick to? Not a lot. Peter Bell couldn't get a clean run at it. Mellington tries to sneak out the back door, almost throws it to Harvey. His kick was smothered. This is a good tight start, and we'll have a ball up.
I think one of the challenges for the Kangaroos without Carey is to just modify their game plan a little bit. They can't just continually bomb the ball, as we saw then, John, to a centre-half forward without Wayne Carey being there. And I guess on the other hand, McKernan has got to add a little bit more mobility to his game to give an option.
Yeah, he certainly does, especially now with Evan Hewitt dropping back behind the footy.
Walton gets the hand pass away to Harvey. Another one to Mitchell. This is dangerous for the Kangaroos as the Saints go streaming forward through Mitchell. He's away to the left, one behind.
I think Corey McKernan's defence there, Jared, he did present himself through the middle of the ground, and as you said, the North Melbourne game plan to kick long to centre forward just needs to be adapted to the conditions tonight and without the King.
And Louis, for St Kilda, we've got Ozzie Jones, Lenny Hayes, Matthew Carr and Barry Hall.
Fantastic, Dipper.
Mitchell was a telling player in front of goal last week. Simpson to the kick out towards Winston on the outer side. Bell's running with him, but Winston is clear. Ball to ground once. If he can get round, he can have a shot. If he doesn't trip. 51 metres. It's high. It's long. Maxie Hudgson's there. Shepherds and pushes into the pocket. Young leads into the race. Takes it over the line.
Well, there must be a problem with the light down there because Max Hudson just about had his right arm pulled off.
It could have been the one that was hit by the storm last week, Jared.
Umpires are Corin Rowe, as you speak about that. Corin Rowe, Gavin Dorr and Jamie Love.
Just looking at here on replay, Sandy definitely being held by the arm there. Very, very stiff.
Elliott's kick is only short. Francis, a real little terrier. A lot of people remember his goal last week, Jared, for a long time.
Yes.
Bell to ground, Ziller all over the top of him. This is dangerous times for the Saints now. Harvey, if he can pick it up, he's very clever, but there's no one at home. And Elliott marks on the last line of defence. He gives it to his skipper and they're away. Francis now from the back pocket. Looks up towards centre wing. Positive start. Tony Brown.
And this is what we were talking about in the opener, Sandy. Just that concise, precise delivery from the defence. And always numbers running out from the back line of St Kilda.
I think even more so to that, Jared, I think that the Saints are obviously pushing their players behind the footy, similar to what they did to us over in Hobart in the NZ Cup game.
Lowe doing the ruck work, got a hand to it. Pike leaves it. Will try and eat his a decent old shirt front. Slapped out towards McCartney, tries to sock off the ground only as far as Thompson. Needs someone going past. Elliott is very keen on pirouetting tonight. Back to Thompson he goes. Wobbly old punt kick is wide and to the right. Out of bounds on the full.
Well, that was a classic indicator of what John was saying. The ball went long, but there was no St Kilda forward down there near the goals. It all pushed up, and it's becoming a common trend in footy now with I think the way the Geelong are playing. All their smalls in the forward line are starting from the midfield.
Leaves plenty of room for their tools, that's right.
Crowd has built up considerably as Tony Brown sees that over the line. It's Anthony Stevens there as well. Just a couple of goals scored so far. I think this drizzly rain may persist for much of the night.
That's good news.
Thank you, Deborah. You'd appreciate it in your air-conditioned comfort down there on the boundary line. Low out the back and another ball up.
John, I noticed that John Blakey has gone to a half-forward flank. He's on Peckett. Would that be just a normal rotation, or would he be there on Peckett in a defensive role?
I wouldn't be surprised, Jared, if John was told to watch Peckett's run out of defence. He's very good with his defensive side of the game, and it wouldn't surprise me if he was told to pick up Peckett.
Oh, Elliott could have given away a free kick there. Burke comes over the top. He's in all sorts of trouble. Eventually got it away. It's kicked up towards half forward. Saints in attack again. Pike overruns it in opposition to try and need his. Harvey can go over the top to Mitchell. He's created space and he's done well, but he's dropped it. Tries to flick it out the back door to Hodgson. That's okay. The Saints are within scoring range. Johnny McLaren set sail for home, but he was always left.
Well, a deft little tap there, Louis, by Jason Traianidis set that one up. He's a much improved player under Tim Watson.
Yeah, he's having a great season, but just goes to show skillful players can still use their skills, and even though in very ordinary conditions.
Ground's okay though, Dale. I mean, you know it better than anyone here in this commentary position, perhaps apart from Jared in modern times, but only the centre perhaps a little muddy.
Yeah, pretty scuddy, and even that outer wing may be a little bit wet, but the rest of the ground does dry very well.
McKernan got a hand to it. Mellington had it spent a little too early. Out the back door again is Young. Wide, very, very wide, but going to be kept in play now. They can set something up here to Walton. He's 60 metres out. Walton looks in towards Heatley, tucked in the pocket. Takes the mark in front of Martin, but he's on a very tight angle.
Well, it wasn't actually the lead that created this difficulty for Jason Heatley. It was the kick. Heatley was probably another 15 degrees around leading straight at the football, but the pass was just astray.
Question for you, Jared. Does the ball swing as much in the wet when kicking bananas?
I just wait until he kicks it.
While we see this banana
yes.
or check side, it's a pretty good looking kick, you know.
When you're that good a kick, I don't think it matters.
Great kick.
I think, Sandy, if you're going to have any person in the league to have that shot, you'd certainly pick Jason Heatley.
He is dead, isn't he?
Oh, deadly with the banana. Only Frank Costa has more effect with selling bananas than Jason Heatley, but well, there we saw on camera there that Heatley just had to duck back and mop up for an errant kick. But pretty impressive start into St Kilda. The Kangaroos need the next one. Welcome back to the SCG, and John, it's interesting that the setup that you've got down there on the forward line at centre bounces, lots of small players pushing back.
Yeah, we like to run out of the goal square. Obviously, I think that it's important that drag those running players back to the goal square.
Thompson, Francis, Brown and Traianidis into half forward, and the skating Stuart Lowe takes the mark.
That was just a great mark, that was. Obviously a missed kick there, but Stuart read it beautifully then. Well done.
40 metres out, almost directly in front.
Sandy, you never know on a night like tonight, just be in front and be there, and it just could land in your lap.
Saints at the moment by 8 points. Been a magnificent player for St Kilda. Made his debut way back in 1986. Lowe's kick is high, pretty good. Saints alive.
One kick, one goal, Man Mountain from St Kilda, and he's having a very good season to date. Stuart Lowe, and he's always a competitor, John.
Oh, he is. He certainly gives them a target up forward. He's been very good in the ruck too when he's gone on the ball, but he's against probably one of our best players this year in Jason McCartney. He certainly has a fantastic season so far, and I hope he keeps up against Stuart tonight.
2 to Heatley, 1 to Lowe, whilst for the Kangaroos, John Blakey got the opening goal of the night. The margin now up to 14 points. McKernan again on the ball, but plucked out of the air by Elliott. Can't get a kick away. McKernan's toe poke smothered. There's desperate work by Francis at the bottom of the pack. Slapped forward towards half forward. Now an opportunity for the Kangaroos. 50 metres out. Hewitt's in trouble. Gets the hand pass in towards Peter Bell. He's clean ball. Peckett tries to storm his way through. Gives it out to Wakeland. He's got Brown on half back. The Saints are out of trouble again. Up towards centre wing, and Traianidis takes it in front of Pike.
Well, pretty solid bump there on Traianidis by Martin Pike, but allowed to go on by the umpire.
Here's Pickett. In towards centre wing.
That was a throw.
Thrown to Peter Bell from Brent Harvey, and he appreciated. Up to half forward. Elliott is there, and he stands firm. Thought about playing on, did Tim Elliott. Now he does. Finds his skipper on half back. Shannon Grant late on the season. He goes wide to the wing, and Walton looks down towards half forward. Saints are looking pretty positive at the moment. Martin belts it clear of Heatley. Close to the line. and taken over. Well, when is a throw, boys?
Look at this for quick hands, Jared. That's a magnificent handball from Brent Harvey.
Williams would have been pleased with that one.
Even better at Stadium Australia last night in the test match between the Kiwis and the Aussies. Freddie Fittler eat your heart out.
Simpson over the top and again over the line.
Nice like tonight, I think, Sandy. Just basic football, try and get it on. We saw what perhaps looks like a bit of an ugly work in the centre before, but it's effective. Corey McKernan followed up, knocked on. That's all we can ask for in the wet weather.
The cliche 10B, I think, is Dow's struggle. That could be it tonight. But I think it could be pretty tight. Stevens, the boy from Shepparton, tries to farm it out. Mitchell could have been held. Ball goes to ground once again. Francis over the top with Brown. And another ball up. Under 10 minutes remaining in this first quarter of the SCG. Round 5. As the clubs start to sort themselves out, top to bottom. Geelong on the west coast looking the goods at the moment as Harvey swings around and kicks a high left footer back towards centre wing. Difficult one to mark. Mitchell up high, pushed towards the line. Zilla goes to ground. Thompson there as well. He overruns it. Zilla gets a second chance. Couldn't get a clean kick at it though because of the pressure applied by the Kangaroos. Still kept in play. Harvey, first one way, then the other. Eventually a kick. It's high. It's towards half forward. McLaren comes over the top. Walton is lurking there. Pickett picks it up. He chips the half back. And this rude defence, coughing plenty at the moment, settling down with Jason McCartney.
Very lucky not to lose that one, actually, Jared. I think that Justin Pickett started on the half-back line, went forward, and he was by himself for a long time.
Yeah.
Here's Young shepherding for Thompson. Goes round the body and up towards centre wing. It is slapped over the line. We've got a throw in. Under 9 minutes remaining in the first quarter. St Kilda leading by 14 points.
And Jared, just a pet hate of yours. I'd hope that all the boys out there have the long stops in.
Oh, you've got to have the long stops. No question about that.
I can tell you a lot of the boys have their models on once again.
Low, Simpson towards the line. And Thompson got a hand to it with Peter Bell to see it over.
Back in ancient times, as you described it a couple of minutes ago, Sandy, players would have been fined, John, if they hadn't worn their long stops. Is that the case now?
I think that I know our coach would certainly be insisting on the players wearing stops before a game played in conditions as slippery as this.
What about in Sydney, Don?
Yeah, definitely. Rodney Eads the same. Most of the boys complain about the hardness on their feet, but in conditions like this, you must be very professional.
Free kick to McCartney given to him against Stuart Lowe. Tumbling a punt down towards half forward. Grant at the bottom of the pack. He gets caught by Burke.
Well, there we saw an attempt at the torpedo by Corey McKernan. What would be Dennis Pagan's approach to having a go at the torp?
I think only when you've got a chance of kicking a goal after the siren and you're about 70 or 80 metres out. I think that see Jason McCartney, perhaps in the wet conditions you're more of a chance of kicking a torp, but most of the time you like to go the drop punt.
Peter Bell onto the left foot down towards full forward. Off hands they need some crummers. Hewitt went through, pushed it further forward down towards. Oh, here's Winston. Here is Winston Abraham as he bends it back for the Kangaroos' second. Much needed goal to Abraham. His 103rd in his career.
That is certainly Winston's forte. You can see him here screwing around on the left foot there. That does certainly put pressure on the Justin Pickett's and the Matthew Youngs who run down the ground if Winston can kick a couple of goals like that.
And it was interesting just to watch the various positions of the two players on each other. Winston Abraham front and square, Matty Young going at the ball.
The Roos cut to 8 points. McKernan out of the air, plucks it, then kicks it high towards Abraham, and Stevens once again belted clear of him. Brown gets the hand pass away to Francis. He ambles along centre wing, then looks up towards left half forward. McLaren asked to do the work on a half volley. Gee, he recovered pretty well. Brown again surges through, pushes towards the line. Archer some fancy work. He thought he kept it in, but not to be.
Dale will see that Robert Harvey starting on the half-back line at centre bounces with Anthony Stevens on him, them running forward. He's not spending as much time in the centre square these days.
Yeah, and I think the conditions don't really suit with someone following around. It's very tough at the best of times on a night like tonight.
Lowe and McCartney again lock arms. Francis, Stevens, Brown and Simpson. Simpson, that was interesting. So too from Blakey. A kick up towards centre wing. Welch unable to take it cleanly. Ricochets away towards Peter Bell. Been another fine player since crossing over to Arden Street. He kicks up towards the right half forward flank region. Waiting down was Welch. Gets a hurried kick in towards Grant. Grant wants someone going past. He's got Robert Scott. He should be able to goal from there. And he's got number 3. Roos hit back with a couple of quick goals. Robert Scott, the veteran of 233 games, has got his first for the night.
And Jerry, you remember Robert Scott playing for Victoria in the early days as a goal-kicking forward.
Yep.
These days, very rarely sided up forward, but certainly was a very good handy goal for us then.
Yes, he's certainly had a transformation since going to North Melbourne, now the Kangaroos, but a very good one-on-one player.
Robert Scott gets the Kangaroos third. Brings them right back into this game. McKernan pokes it down, but St Kilda winning it out of the middle. Tony Brown gets a high kick up towards half forward. Archer almost held it long enough. Eventually pushed it back down towards Brown again. He's picking up plenty of possession. His kick, however, lands on the chest of Mickey Martin. Mighty Mick comes back towards centre wing. Young used the body nicely against Abraham.
And that's the long clearing kick that has got to go to a man. That one went to a contest, and clearly a contest that favoured St Kilda. And because of the turnover, the pressure back on Mick Martin.
That's a good kick from Walton. Pikey unable to take the Blakey unable to take the mark. Pike picks it up, goes short. Walton comes charging through. Can he make him pay? No. Scott. Now Martin back towards the half-back line, still in the danger zone. Mitchell, clever little kick, and he's found Maxie Hutchton drifting down there, 40 metres out from goal.
Well, both sides have got many running options, and I think, John, that's where the game's going to be won. Who can get on top in the midfield, and which runners can win their individual battles.
Yeah, that's right. I think that especially at the SCG, it's important to get it out of the centre. But I think that the Saints defenders are certainly running a fair bit at the moment. Maxie Hudson, as we see, lining up for goal, running down from full forward.
The boy from Diamond Creek, kicking from 40 metres. It's low, but I reckon it's just about got there. It has. And he's wrapped. Max Hudson kicks the goal and heads back from whence he came.
And just a great piece of running there, never out of the play, whether you're down one end of the ground or the other, Sandy. But a little bit fortunate here, Mickey Martin, the old-fashioned defender, just getting boot the ball as quickly as possible. And great skills by Mitchell to find Hudson, who'd come all the way down.
First career goal, I think, for Maxie Hudson.
So Max Hudson has rewritten the record books with his first career goal, and he's wanted all the way back up the other end of the ground. But the Saints regain or retain their lead, maybe only for a moment. Grant chips towards Abraham. He marks 40 metres out.
Well, that was just Russian roulette football there. Shannon Grant was just staying out of the play. He was about 30 metres off the pack. The ball ricocheted off the boot, as you see there. Peckett had gone forward trying to get in part of the action. Grant stayed out and was favoured that time by luck of the draw.
Abraham then for his second. Young man who played 38 games with Fremantle. And that's a poor kick going across the face of goal. Ryan is there on the last line, has the ball held to him. We'll have a ball up in the Kangaroos' right forward pocket. Under 5 minutes left. Simpson comes over the top. Harvey clear. Popping it out towards Trianides. Pike is there with him. He belts it down towards the line, but Clayton will keep it in for the Kangaroos. In trouble. Back again to Pike. Pops it over the top to Peter Bell. Bell forced onto the left foot. A high kick in towards half forward. Hutchton came steaming over the top. There was some courage in front there from Simpson.
That's the advantage of Adam Simpson. He does fight hard for the ball on the forward line. He's very courageous as well.
My word, his flat-looking punt kick was perhaps not quite as pretty as the mark.
No, but it gave Anthony Mellington a chance. He did well to work to the front of the pack, but unfortunately just missed it. But I think the reaction of Max Hudson suggests that was his first goal in footy. What a fantastic sight.
No doubt about that.
He enjoyed every moment of it.
Harvey gives it to Ryan. He goes to the outer side. Good strong mark taken by Pike in opposition to Trianides.
Sandy, I'll just interject. Jared, your first goal of your career?
I can't remember.
Many ages
Ancient
ago.
times.
McKernan got a hand to it for a moment. Stevens does the roving work. He gets caught, picked up by Stephen Zilla. Belted back towards centre wing. Saints have the numbers, but the Kangaroos have Mickey Martin. Again, he soccers off the ground. Again, he finds Mitchell. Last time that happened, it resulted in the goal. Trianides can't pick it up. He eventually gets claimed. His opponent, Pike, takes it now. Gives it out of the middle. Scott is running through. Takes the hand pass from Harvey. Kicks it high up towards the half-forward line. Difficult one to judge. Abraham gets it out. Gives it to Simpson. Floating punt kick onto the chest of Stewie Lowe.
And Jared, another example of the St Kilda players flooding the defensive area.
Yeah, and Stuart Lowe does it as well as anybody. He's added another string to his bow the last couple of seasons by becoming one of the more mobile ruckmen in the competition.
He's picking by himself once again on the wing here, boys.
And he's got it now from Young. Special comments there from Dipper, our boundary rider. Good on you, Dip. Down towards half-forward, beautifully picked up on the half volley by Pickett. Harvey's going through there. Maybe a lack of communication just for a moment. McCartney then takes it. But again, a kick drops short. Robert Harvey is there to take the mark. He looks again towards Pickett. Off to the running Burke. Long and low, but chopped off by John Blakey. What a marvellous player he's been for the Kangaroos, Blakey. Making his debut back in 1985 with Fitzroy. Corey McKernan. Big night wanted from Corey. Just his second kick. Goes in towards half forward. No one able to take it cleanly. Zilla picks up the crumbs. Hand pass was interesting. Simpson, that was better. This could be costly. Robert Scott's on the end of it, but it's a high ball. Difficult one to grab. Abraham was taken out of it, and he's going to be free kicked.
Well, pretty undisciplined play there by St Kilda. They had it covered. There was two taller players behind Winston Abraham, and this Shepherd really was unnecessary.
Yeah, Timmy Watson would not be happy with that, especially in these conditions with goals. Very hard to come by, but just a poor decision.
Abraham a chance to make the margin 1 point close to siren time.
I think the Kangaroos have done exceedingly well. They look on at various stages in this quarter, particularly about 15 minutes into the quarter, and they've fought back extremely well.
Winston then for his second. Kicking from 30 metres. Good looking kick from Abraham. The Roos are back again. 1 point in it.
So pretty clearly, Dale, this is going to be a bit of a scrap. North Melbourne, the Kangaroos, they're not going to just give the 4 points away. They're in it to win.
Certainly not, Jared. They won't lie down this week, as some pundits suggested after last week's second half debacle. But they're in for a really good game, and I just think St Kilda are playing them at their own game at the moment, falling into the trap, sitting back, waiting for the Kangaroos to kick long. I think Norfolk, they can just structure the game, kick short every now and then, they'll catch them out.
John, has much been made of these fade-outs, especially last week's?
Oh, not too much, Jared. I think that we did mention it briefly during the week, but it's just mainly a mental thing. I think physically we're fine.
From the centre, it's pushed wide towards the wing. Now there's some holding on going on there. This is going to be a Kangaroos free kick to be taken by Bell. Peter Bell looks in towards half-forward. McKernan! Frequent flyer points, but no ball. Simpson, it ricochets clear of him, and it's taken over the line. What a fly. That was Corey of old.
Yeah, Corey's launched himself a few times the footy tonight. It's just unfortunate that none of them have stuck, as we can see him here launching. That's a great leap from Corey, but unfortunately didn't take the mark. Would have been great for his confidence.
And in the finish, a brilliant spoil by Shane Wakeland, who's doing a pretty fair job on him at the moment.
Ball on the outer side again with Bell. Pumps it in towards half-forward. Tim Elliott chops it off. Comes away with a penetrating kick towards Walton, who's got a big job tonight with Archer. Very experienced player. Tough and hard and competent. Kicks back towards centre wing. Zilla gets the hand pass. Look out, Stewie. Runs into a brick wall, but not before he gets it away. This is hard football, as we'd expect. A point in it and close to quarter time.
Well, I think you can tell from that bit of action here that most sides are told that when Robert Harvey gets the ball, just give him a little bit extra. Just try and take him out physically if you can. I'm not asking you to give secrets away, John, but that was pretty apparent there.
It was good physical stuff, wasn't it? It certainly helps if Robert Harvey's feeling a little bit sore at the end of the game.
Archer's kick wobbles over the line on the outer side.
It's like a herd of wolves, or a pack of wolves.
And it was none other than Glenn Archer who applied the pressure to Stuart Lowe there in a big hip and shoulder.
Here's Lowe again with McKernan. McKernan doing the work from behind. Francis is down in front. He's made the move from Collingwood with considerable success. Approaching another milestone, Tony Francis. 150 games, just 3 or 4 weeks away if all goes well. McKernan, there was a hand on the shoulder there as the Stevens kick ricochets away. That's no mark. Play on as Archer tries to come through again. And the free kick has been picked up and it's going the way of the Kangaroos. Blakey. Big chance now, but they need a mark. Mellington was the flyer and time has beaten them. Quarter time. But this crowd that's growing all the time certainly appreciating a good, tight, close first quarter, Dale Lewis. Second quarter at the SCG. St Kilda leading by 1 point. McKernan out of the middle, tapped forward by Bell, but socket back by Robert Harvey, straight onto the chest of John Blakey.
11th possession to Robert Harvey, 10 in the first quarter.
Archer kicks down towards half forward. Bell again. He too has been busy. He's 53 metres out. Went too close to Tony Brown. Talk about being busy, but that's a good recovery by Bell. Kicks in towards the forward line. Shannon Grant.
Well, they're the sort of second efforts that Dennis Pagan will have demanded from his players. They're going to have to play at their absolute peak, North Melbourne, to snatch the victory here. And a second effort like that, John, really does lift all the other players.
Yes, Peter made the mistake at the first instance, but soon butted up, and it was a terrific kick to Shannon Grant, who was on his preferred left side to have a kick for goal.
On a very tight angle. But he's a man who knows this ground reasonably well. He kicks well in towards the square, goes across the face and records it behind.
Well, just a quarter time there, and I just heard the North Melbourne players, John, very, very vocal. Is that something they always are vocal? I mean, they all were screaming at each other just to make sure they push up and tackle hard and whatever.
Yeah, vocal most times, Dipper, but especially now. I mean, these are pretty important times for us at the moment, so we have to be nice and encouraging to everybody.
Wakeland kicks out. Kernan slaps it down. Mellington may get a chance. Gets the hand pass away to Anthony Stevens from a standing start. Pumps it high and long, but away to the right. Over the head of Welsh and on the full. Burke takes it from Wakeland. Scores all tied up here at the SCG. 4-2 apiece. Here's Wakeland again, just drifting down. Now he's got the chance to go wide to Young. Kick's got to be pretty accurate though. It's got to be darn accurate because Anthony Stevens is like a little terrier.
That was just absolutely fantastic play there for Stevens. There was a 2-on-1 situation. He's calling for the free kick. But I think at the end of the day, Dennis Pagan would be pretty pleased just to have a neutral ball situation. That was going to be in the goal square at the other end if it had have got through.
He's a real goer. Blakey tried to pluck it out of the air. Thompson working hard. Gives the hand pass away. Young kicks from the half-back line, but the kick is perhaps a little ill-directed, and Jason McCartney is there to tidy up.
And Aussie Jones bursts onto the ground for his
Oh,
first
he's
run.
just about kicking it to him too. We'll have to see how Aussie fires up tonight. St Kilda fans will be looking for something from him. Here he goes as Elliott kicks it to him. A roar of approval as Aussie's back. Here's his trademark. A bounce around centre wing. Looks up towards right half forward. He's a long way out. Mickey Martin was on his hammer and almost in his back. Play on, says the umpire, so McCartney does. Floating it back towards centre wing. Mellington unable to control it. Ryan, the effective spoiler, and a throw-in.
Nathan Burke's come off. Looks like he has a shoulder injury. The doctors are working on him now.
Well, that'll be interesting, Dipper, to see how he is. Keep an eye on that one because he's an integral part of this Saints lineup. The proppy hand pass puts Blakey under the pump. Trinides rides him into the ground. Thompson tries to chop his way through. Gives it to Oz. He kicks wide. Mickey Martin sees that ball skip away on the slippery turf and over the line.
Jared just gesturing that Mickey Martin probably should have took that one in the hands. I suggest that his eyes might still be blinded from the advertising campaign with the Roos underlights up here in Sydney.
Jeez, they were stung by that advertising campaign.
Low out the back. Tony Brown on his hammer is Peter Bell. Walton and Archer. Well done by Walton. Controlled himself beautifully. Kicks in towards full forward. Ricochets away to Pickett, but there's been a whistle. It's a St Kilda free kick. Now, I wonder how the light is now for me.
It was in his eyes again. Just looking at it here, though, as the ball coming in, Mickey Martin, no eyes on the footy, obviously a free kick there.
It probably all started with Stewie Lowe, a great tap out from the ruck contest, flicked it over into the dangerous area in the forward line.
Chance for St Kilda to record their 5th, and for Jason Heatley his 3rd. This should be a gimme for him. 15 metres out. He makes no mistake.
Well, 3 goals now to the heater, 2 of which have come as a result of free kicks. So a little bit of errant scragging is costing North Melbourne and the Kangaroos as Anthony Mellington comes off the ground.
Yeah, I think that Gary Durkay's coming on, but I think Mickey Martin's actually been moving up the ground and been moving quite well, but those couple of free kicks have just proved very costly for him.
Here's another look at the free kick.
3 goals to Jason Heatley. St Kilda again edge clear. Gary Durkay on the ground. Tim Elliott doing the ruck work up against McKernan. Corey plucks it out of the air, down towards half forward. Thompson and Stevens, good duel. Tony Brown has been busy. Belts it towards the line. The race is on. Harvey and Stevens, 2 greats. They go again with Francis. It's shoveled down towards right half forward. Ryan and O'Brien both there, pushed over the line. We've got a throw in with Stevens again busy on the outer side.
Typical wet weather football there, Sandy. There was about 4 or 5 knock-ons and St Kilda probably gained 20 or 30 yards.
There's Anthony Stevens, Robert Harvey, McKernan and Tim Elliott. McKernan had a front spot. Stevens loses it. Thompson, a hurry kick down towards Stuart Lowe. Those big bucket hands. Hard to stop that.
He's just a great grab, Johnny. You probably would have played on him at some time in your career, I would think.
Yeah, I've played on him a few times, and he's very hard to get around. He is a man mountain, and once you get behind him and he sticks his big shoulders back, it's very hard to get around him, as Jason found then.
And it comes as a result, this shot at goal, just of a bit of a misunderstanding by 2 Kangaroo players. They had front position, and they both had eyes for the football, but unfortunately it just slipped through, and Andrew Thompson capitalised on it.
The other pleasing thing there, Andrew Thompson kicking a drop punt, not throwing it onto the boot, and obviously making it much easier for the forwards to mark.
It's one of the modern day sins, letting the ball get behind you.
It is, Jared, and you obviously sometimes come off.
Stuart Lowe then for his 2nd from 42 metres. He too has employed the drop punt. It goes right into the square and is eventually rushed over for 1 behind.
I think that almost the mark paid there, actually. I thought that we had a chance for the mark, but tapped it over the line. It was heart in my mouth there. I thought that the big fist through the goals was probably the better option.
Pickett down the middle. Lowe couldn't get a decent run at it. Thompson was ripped off the ball. The advantage will be paid here to Tony Francis. He pops it over the top. Elliott comes inside to Walton. Walton's under pressure, but he gets a left foot chip in towards Mitchell, who's going to beat a couple of them, and he couldn't do so. Archer marks on the last line of defence.
Well, I guess there was there'd be some doubt as to whether that was a necessary handball. He was inside the forward 50. 30-35 metres out, and well, Tim Elliott let everybody know that he was going to handball it, in particular the Kangaroos defenders, and the telegraphed nature of it made it come undone.
Chance for the Roos to clear now. Simpson goes up towards half forward. Pickett backs into the pack, unable to take the mark. Wakeland recovers first, gets it out towards Harvey. Little chip pass, probably only goes 7 or 8 metres. Maxie Hutchinson caught. Off he goes to Wakeland. Draws the player over the top. Now St Kilda out of trouble through Francis. Stabs it up towards left half forward. Not well directed. Out in front of McKernan. He sees it over the line.
Nathan Burke on the bench is in a lot of pain at the moment. He's had his left bicep strapped up. He's got a corky in it, and he worked that one out.
Which bit?
The bicep bit.
The good doctor on the boundary. Good on you, Dipper. Well, that's unfortunate news for Burke and for St Kilda. Francis takes the hand pass 49 metres out, centres it towards Mitchell, but Clayton is there. Going to be paid on the last line once more. Gee, this Roo defence is being tested at the moment, John Longmire.
Yes, it is, and I just hope they stand up. This happened last week against the Swans and unfortunately cracked in the end, but I hope we stand up tonight.
Aussie Jones pushes it forward to accommodate Walton, who's done pretty well. Kicks back in towards Fulford. Oh, Clayton's dropped it. Thompson tried to soccer off the ground. Could have almost been a free kick. Blakey gives it away. And again, the Roos out of trouble. Pickett kicks it towards centre wing. Allison's just come onto the ground. He goes to ground with Elliott. The door opens for Hodgson. Short little chip is okay to Ryan. Centering kick in towards Francis.
Stuart Lowe's pushed deep into the forward line. He's going to lead from the forward square.
Tony Francis sees the lead. It's ignored. Jones and Trinity's a target. Blakey cuts across, however. Gives it wide towards McKernan. He looks to the outer side. The Roos to clear again, but Winston has dropped what he should have taken. Maybe the door will open for Harvey. Around one, around two. This is the Harvey we know. Spearing a pass in towards full forward. That is sensational play. And Walton has also been very effective.
Yeah, I think that, as you can see now, our forward line at the moment, the Kangaroos forward line at the moment, that see Robert Harvey here, that's what Robert Harvey does best, delivering to his forwards. But as in our forward line now, there's no one in that forward 50 arc, and it does make it a lot harder for the ball to get in the forward line, as we see Nathan Burke here in a lot of pain.
Gee, that's not good news, is it?
No, and rest assured it wouldn't be just a corky. He's probably snapped the biceps tendon.
Here's Walton in the meantime. 30 metres out, and he has missed.
Well, that was just pure magic from Robert Harvey. I think we just should relive the moment. I don't think there's been many players that would compete in the history of this competition with his sidestep.
Not at all, and as we said earlier, most coaches want their players to really hit it. But look at this. Feints one way, goes around you without even looking like you were there.
Harvey 13 possessions. Tony Brown has had 13 possessions. Tony Francis has had 9. And Ben Walton has had 10. They've been busy for the Saints. We'll check on the Roos in a moment. The Jones hand pass to Waitman's, put him under the pump. Back again he goes to Aussie. That was okay. Off to Stephen Zilla. A high ball in towards full forward. Mick's doing plenty of holding on, but he's not on his own. The Thompson hand pass a little loose. Mitchell tries to lock it up. And there's some good solid tackling there to keep that ball in the area. It will stay there. We've got a ball up. Main contributors for the Kangaroos, Jared?
Well, from a possession perspective, Peter Bell's done a good job with 10 kicks. John Blake has also had plenty of possessions, but from the stat sheet you can see that they don't possess the football as much as the Saints, because there are a number of St Kilda players in the teams.
Trinity's is off and Festival Hall comes onto the ground. So we had fireworks prior to this game. There might be some more now. The Hudson hand pass finishes up okay. Young ducked his head. Could have almost been ping. Turnover though could be costly. Allison usually fairly accurate in front of goal. Wobbles it to full forward. It spins towards the scoring zone. But one behind only is the result.
Brett Allison coming onto the ground. Obviously Dennis Pagan believes that Brett can give us something around the forward line, and he's very renowned for his accurate goal kicking.
And also Glenn Archer's been pushed up there, so obviously Dennis believes that you've got to restructure that forward line.
Oops.
And a brilliant kick.
Zilla right on the line. Kicks towards centre wing. Elliott almost held. Play on is the call. Peckett leads in the race. Justin Peckett pushing it along in front. He's hassled by Clay, but he keeps going. Aussie Jones back pedals. Does it well. Pulls it round his body. Beautifully trapped by Stuart Lowe. Gives it to Thompson. Thompson flicks it even further forward. Bell got a touch. Stevens defending grimly. One bounce. Still goes across the top with a hand pass over the head of Mitchell and onto Robert Scott. He looks to the outer side. Finally they find a little bit of space. Maybe they can set something up now. Shannon Grant looks towards the centre, up towards half forward. McKernan's there in the thick of things. At the back is Archer, 40 metres out. He shoots towards goal, but the tackle was good. And it is out of bounds on the full.
John, a much better build-up by the Kangaroos than actually using the skill level to take the ball from half-back all the way down to the forward line.
Yeah, it unfortunately blazed away a little bit towards centre forward when Gary Durko was perhaps a better option inshore.
Harvey takes it from Hudson. Off towards Justin Peckett. Capuano chasing, couldn't get him. Peckett kicks to half forward. This is danger. Heatley leading in the race from Martin. Jones couldn't take it. Walton gets another possession. The hand pass to Thompson. Over the top to Jones. 60 metres out. Off back to Walton he goes. 50 metres out. In towards Mitchell. Took his eye off the ball. And so the door open for Robert Scott.
This is just a good mark. Solid mark from the defender. Worked his way into the forward position. Kept his eye on the ball and he knew exactly where his man was by, I guess, the feedback from his hands.
Grant gives it to Bell. Lovely little use of the body there by Corey McKernan. Just a gentle nudge.
This forward line just starting to look a little bit more dangerous for North Melbourne.
In towards half-forward. Allison, he'll have to get round onto that left foot. What can he do? Allison for the Kangaroos is back in town.
Well, in the space of about 3 or 4 minutes, all of a sudden the Kangaroos are looking a bit more dangerous.
They're back in it, and just the movement of the ball, Jerry, they've just got much better skills finding guys open on the outer wing and the delivery to the forward line. And this, I tell you, is coaching book, textbook stuff by Allison, front and square. And a guy at that pace, you can just put it down when he gets hold of it.
And, well, Des Ryan just sitting there looking at his man sprint away with the football.
Made his debut in 1987. Brett Allison has just kicked his 266th goal. An important one too, because the Kangaroos starting to fire up in the last few minutes down in that forward line. What can St Kilda do? They lead by 1 point, the Saints.
The Kangaroos have really restructured the forward line. I see that Matty Capuano's gone into the ruck. Obviously, Brett Ellison's coming to the ground into the forward line. Glenn Archer's spending some time down the forward line now, so he's really revamped the whole forward line.
Just in St Kilda's attacking zone. Plucked out of the air and kicked by Brady Rawlings up towards half forward. Simpson soccers off the ground again. Goes inside 50, an opportunity now for Durkay. Couldn't take it. Peckett, deft little flick. Here's a chance now as it's popped over the top, and that again was by Brady Rawlings. Eventually it finishes in the square. No one able to pick it up. Past Whitson Abraham it goes. Wakeland hand pass is okay, but the kick goes even wider. Tony Brown will be happy to see it over the line. No, he's going to keep it in play. Look out, Tony Francis. He soccers off the ground. Gains 25 metres. Joey McLaren finds it. Now the Saints go down towards their 50. Big Bad Bustling is there. Barry Hall. Look out, he's coming through. Gets it out, and he does well. Lowe's in the square. Lowe's all alone. Pops it over the top to Heatley. It's only got a set. It's a goal in the Saints. And Heatley's got 4. Well.
Jason McCartney, Sandy, then ran out to the try and meet the footy. Very unfortunate then. He tried to do the right thing. You see him standing there. Stewie Lowe went back at a million miles an hour to the goal square. Unfortunately, St Kilda won the footy, and Stewie was unmarked by himself.
But before that, John, we see St Kilda bring the ball the length of the ground, just scragging along the outer wing, and just surge mentality. So a coach must be happy. Barry Hall hitting him for his first effort of the night. A little touch, but just a fantastic effort.
4 goals to Jason Heatley, but some good individual performances in the lead-up, especially the little tap by Barry Hall. So, again, the Saints edge further clear. A high tackle is deemed on Robert Scott. Got the free kick in opposition to Tony Brown. He flicks it wide to Simpson. Just pumps it high into the forward zone. Needing a mark and getting it. Strong player, Glenn Archer.
Yeah, I think that most of the St Kilda players, I think, were probably worried about Corey McKernan then, and Glenn Archer floated across the front of the pack, and is a very strong grab. You can see Adam Simpson bombing it long to the forward area, just in front of the goal square, and that is what Glenn Archer does very well. Knows how to time things and just pushes his opponent under the footy.
And has spent time in the forward zone. He's got 38 goals to his name prior to that kick. Now he's got 39.
And once again, the lead is cut to just a single point. And North Melbourne, the last 5 minutes, have really lifted their work rate. And I think St Kilda will go in at half-time thinking that they have wasted many opportunities, because for the first 10 minutes of this quarter, they were just quite clearly the dominant side, playing most of the game in the forward 50, but not getting the score on the board.
Just on 6.5 minutes left in this first half. Clayton soccers off the ground up towards Durkay, who takes the mark. Started on the bench, Gary Durkay. Boy from Fremantle. Long and low. Archer is a key again. Moved down into that forward line that was meant for him, but he couldn't take the mark. Pike, if he can get a clean run at it. Rawlings at the bottom of the pack. And there will be a ball up just in the Kangaroos attacking zone.
Absolute value from a huge punch there by a St Kilda defender. As good as a kick easy in these conditions.
Capuano edges himself to the front and was taken out illegally. And there's going to be free kick.
And just his height becoming a problem for Tim Elliott. He just stands tall in the ruck to throw up, and Elliott, a little bit undisciplined, drags him away.
Capuano then in towards half forward. Harvey in front of the pack. Look at that elusiveness. It's just a dream to watch, isn't it? Spearing a worm burner to Tim Elliott. Back again he goes to Harvey. Oh, 1-2. He eludes them all. It doesn't matter who. And he's got Hall on the end of it. That is great to watch. Barry just stabs a pass short. And the Saints through Joey McLaren are going to get a shot.
The wonderful sidestepping skills of Robert Harvey displayed again. He is certainly the best in the business at that.
He's the world champion in British Bulldog. He'd be tough to drag down.
Here's McLaren. At the moment, the margin is 1 point. McLaren kicks from 51 metres. That's a big kick. The margin is now 7 points.
The one thing you're undersold in there a little bit, Sandy, that's just not a big kick. That is a monstrous kick, a huge kick, as one particular commentator would say.
But the goal was really set up here. We see Robert Harvey just jinking his way down the wing again, and his finishing tonight has been absolutely fantastic. Normally can be criticised at times for a little bit of poor disposal, but then to Barry Hall, great vision. And as we said, Jared, just a huge kick.
Not many blokes that convert outside 50 in conditions like this.
Big bomb from Joey McLaren. Again gives St Kilda the ascendancy. Elliott plucks that out of there and he sends a talk long towards Hall. It came off his head. Heatley was there. Tried to bounce it clear. Scott gets a hurry kick, but straight to Stewart Lowe. Lowe gives it back again. This was to Francis. Spearing a little past to Hall. Didn't go far enough. Gives it to Ozzy. Oh, Ozzy Jones, if you don't mind.
There's a confidence builder for you.
That's Ozzy Jones at work. Oh, sensational stuff.
John, can I just ask the same question? What do you think Tim Watson would say about the torpedo on that situation?
Well, it's actually a bit strange. In the wet conditions or when the ball's a little bit slippery, coaches don't mind doing the torpedoes. But one step, have a look at that. That is a fantastic kick from Ozzy Jones. Doesn't matter too much when it goes through the centre.
They never ask you to bring them back when they pierce the big ones.
So the Saints open up a 13-point lead. 8-4 plays 6-3. Elliott back in the middle once again. Can't pluck it out. Can't get it clear. May get another chance, the big man. He does now. He almost throws it out. We've had a few throws here tonight. Play has gone on. Bell works hard. Gives it off to Shannon Grant. Grant's hand pass into the centre. Well into no man's land, but it passes towards Durkay. Durkay, nice little ball. Now he can steady from 55 metres. Gary Durkay needs a goal. He kicks it long, and it's Peckham who belts it into the woodwork. Gee, this game's gone up a notch in the last few minutes. An important 4 minutes in this first half remaining. St Kilda edging to a 12-point lead. Some wonderful individual efforts. And my word, this man has provided a couple of them. Here's Jones. He's provided one of them at least. Oz. He's on half-back. Finds Andrew Thompson. Thompson has a look now up towards centre half forward. Hall has been very good since coming on. He got a hand to it. Mickey Martin, however, tidies up nicely for the Kangaroos. Puts it out towards Capuano. The big man lopes forward now. Over the top he goes to Shannon Grant. A chance for the Roos. Grant, though, wanted to get onto that left side and in turn lost it. The hand pass is a little loose. McLaren, a hurried kick back towards Francis, and he takes the mark in the centre. The Saints are running everywhere at the moment. This is Tony Brown. He's had a great first half. He goes up towards Barry Hall. Lowe comes over the top. Martin was concerned about Hall. Stewie Lowe goes straight over.
Well, I think Tony Brown will get the plaudits from the coaching staff at St Kilda. That was a brilliant tackle in the middle of the ground. He anticipated Shannon Grant wanting to fade to his, get onto his left boot, as you said, Sandy. But a big mark from Stewie Lowe just when it counts, and it's a big difference going in. 18 points up and a couple of goals.
Two and three-quarter minutes left, so a big kick for St Kilda. Low, 25 metres out. Croppy little drop punt, not very pretty and not very effective.
He's very much tried to steer that one through. That's the Stewie Lowe of old. He should have went back, Jared, and just slammed that one through the hay diddle.
Yeah, it wasn't a tough shot. He'd be pretty disappointed, old Stewie, and I guess he's been in that situation before, but he's had a fairly solid game at the moment. And they maintain a lead of 13.
Oh, this is dangerous. Straight into the arms of Aussie Jones. Jones is going to get a kick, probably from 50 now.
It's about the exact spot where he dropped the torque from.
He could just go back and let one go.
Kick the barrel.
Here's Aussie. He's kicked one sensational goal. This time going with a drop punt. And he's just been watching Stuart Lowe too long. That one too, I'm afraid, out on the floor.
Unfortunately for Aussie, I think the torpedo might have been the best option for it, and not so bad after all those torpedoes.
Yes, Johnny, when you're 1-0 on the positive side with the barrels, I'd keep him coming.
But the good news for St Kilda, Aussie's obviously been down the last 3-4 weeks, and he's starting to get his hands on the ball, which is terrific.
There's confidence, the world of good, Dipper.
9 possessions already. Dipper, what did he come on about the 10-minute mark or the 7-minute mark?
That's right, mate.
Pike will bring it back into play. Couple of minutes left. Big pack of players. Elliott at the back got the fist. Waiting down in front is Thompson. Spears the pass into half forward. Gee, they're looking all right at the moment, the Saints, and Joey McLaren will have another shot at goal. 46 metres out, but almost directly in front. Kicked one in the second quarter.
Just looking at that, look at the number of players that are around that contest, Jared. There would have been at least probably 4/5 of the boys out there on the ground were there, and consequently no numbers back towards the goal.
Here's the shot from Joey McLaren. Big kick for St Kilda. And he's got it. 2 goals to Joey McLaren, both in this half. And some dangerous signs lurking, John, for the Kangaroos.
Just what we didn't want, actually, Sandy. A couple of goals like that gave us a good chance, the Kangaroos, to try and play well for that finish off just before half-time. But unfortunately, the ball swung back in the court of the Saints just before half-time now.
5 goals to 2 in this second half in St Kilda's favour. Elliott and co go at it again in the middle. Harvey, a fierce tackler, ripped out of the middle by Winston Abraham. The Roos need one in the closing minute of this quarter to keep them in touch. 40 plays 59. This is the biggest margin we've had in this game today.
And the form of Joe McLaren this season, and the addition of Tony Francis, who has been in good form also, has given St Kilda one of the, have so many options through the midfield that they are going to be tough to beat this year.
Elliott and McKernan again go at it, the 2 number 31s. Anthony Stevens under the pump. Pushed towards the line and taken over, or well, Wakeland actually keeps it in with Stevens. Now it's Andrew Thompson. He almost got leg. Thompson goes again, he's hard at it, but so too is Glenn Archer. Goes astray. St Kilda out of the danger zone, maybe towards Lowe, but he couldn't take the mark from behind. Rawlings gets a high kick back towards full forward. McKernan went up 10 minutes too early. Now goes again. Archer tries to lock it up, and there'll be a ball up with just on 30 seconds remaining in this first half.
You get a feeling that North have sort of made their run through this quarter, through the mid-period of the quarter, with the St Kilda side now really just starting to settle down and play the better footy. In that sort of exchange there, the Kangaroos just struggling to get some good possession.
Elliott couldn't take it cleanly, but neither could his opponent McKernan. They need a mark here. Martin was there. He couldn't do anything with it. Lowe waited. Now the hand pass from Lenny Hayes. Comes out towards Young. Put him under the pump. Look at the skills of Harvey. Out wider towards Wakeland. Durkay gives chase. Leaves it. The hand pass is okay eventually for Lenny Hayes. Playing in front of his hometown. He's just come on, Lenny. The boy from Pennant Hills.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen, half-time.
That was his first kick. He was a Morris medalist
And a 5-goal quarter to St Kilda.
last year.
And leading the Kangaroos.
But the Kangaroos in the spot of bother. So too, however, is Nathan Burke. And that's not good news for St Kilda. They had a very good quarter, however. Booted 5 goals, 3 in that term, and restricted the Kangaroos to 2 goals, 3. So the boys from Arden Street have got some catch-up football to play in the second half if they're going to take the points. This is their home game at the SCG tonight. We're going to take a break more shortly. St Kilda leading by 19 points. Second half, gentlemen, is about to get underway. St Kilda leading by 19 points. McKernan gets the first tap. The Kangaroos need the first goal. It goes down towards Blakey. Johnny Blakey's away, blasting it long, in towards full forward, in towards Mellington. At the back is Abraham. Winston is away, and so too the Kangaroos. That's what they wanted.
Well, without question, I put the kiss of death on them, Sandy, and he's now kicked 3 goals. If the Kangaroos are to go on and win this game, they're going to need more delivery out of the middle like that, John.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, Johnny Blakey pumped that ball forward, and Glenn Archer, I think it was, provided the contest in the goal square. See Johnny Blakey king along to the top of the goal square. Glenn Archer provided the contest. Winston Abraham for his 3rd goal.
An exciting start for Abraham. All his goals have come from that end. Elliott got a hand to it this time. Lenny Hayes in there as well. Thompson gets it out to Tony Brown, who had a big first half, picked up plenty of possessions. Brown kicks down towards Lowe. It comes to the big man now. He gives it away to Heatley. The Heatley snap is wide. Too wide, out of bounds on the full.
Just to bring up the date with the benches, Sandy, with the Kangaroos, Matthew Capuano, Evan Hewitt and Shane Clayton, and also Brett Allison. And for St Kilda, we have Matthew Carr, Nathan Burke, Jason Trianides and Gavin Mitchell.
Thank you, Dipper. Martin kicks back towards centre wing. Aussie Jones is at the back of the pack. Harvey drops what he would normally take. The youngster recovers but runs out of room. Pressured all the way over the line. And good pressure too, applied by Jason Heatley.
Well, an even start to the third quarter. Both sides are entering their forward 50 on 1 or 2 occasions each, and the Saints just looking to settle a little bit better here.
Heatley's booted 4. The Saints looking for a reply to that early Abraham goal. Keep it in the scoring zone.
Shannon Grant looks as if he's running now with Aussie Jones. Really got to bring this down to a man-on-man contest now, the Kangaroos, and just hope that they can win more of the individual contests.
Lowe tried to swat it out the back door. Francis had it for a moment. Chopped off by Blakey. The hand pass is okay. The hurried high kick goes in towards the centre, and the mark is taken by McKernan. The Roos again a chance. Hodgson to defend on Archer. 1, 2, 3 grabs. It's not enough, says the umpire. Durkay leaves it. Simpson from a standing start. It's long and it's high and it's in towards full forward. No mark taken. And Wakeland on the last line of defence comes away for St Kilda. Slow. Too slow. Drop short to Clayton. Shane Clayton can't bend it back far enough. And Hodgson takes the mark. Kicked the goal earlier in the game. Next year was like winning Tats Lotto. This time goes to the outer side, finds McLaren. He looks towards centre wing. Joey McLaren has Stuart Lowe at the back. Right on his hammer is Jason McCartney. Puts out the hand pass and gains probably 25 metres. Harvey could have caught one. And coming in to officiate is Jamie Love. Brent Harvey will take the free kick.
Well, in defence of Barry there, I think he did try to get out of the way and just clipped him a little bit unlucky on the way through.
Simpson kicks in towards half forward. Archer again in the thick of things, uses his strength. That was fantastic. Peter Bell on the end of the Brady Rawlings hand pass. They got another one and they're coming back.
Yeah, it's good to see young Brady Rawlings being involved a couple of times there. We know how good Glenn Archer is, of course, with the second efforts. He was very good to get the handball up there, but Brady Rawlings was involved. You can see the footy coming in here to Glenn Archer, who bounces up pretty quick, gets a handball out very quickly to Brady Rawlings, who pops it onto Peter Bell, and Brady actually was that one, the youngster who did that fantastic chase about 2 minutes ago.
Goals to Abraham and Bell, and suddenly the Kangaroos are within 7 points. McKernan wins it. Can Harvey take it out of the middle? Hayes was right on his hammer. Bell lends good assistance to Shannon Grant. This looks positive. Good spoil on Archer, however. That was Maxie Hutchton who did that, and it's seen over the line by Zilla and Jones.
It's a pretty important positional move, I think, by Dennis Pagan to put Archer down to full forward. And just on a number of occasions, Max Hutchison has struggled for strength, but there his pace really did come to the fore.
McKernan tries to flick out the back once again. Kick is smothered. Zilla tries to sock off the ground. No distance in that at all. Harvey will again go in towards Durkay at half forward, and he takes the mark. Started on the bench, Gary Durkay is now finding himself 55 metres out.
John, will he kick it?
He's very good. I think that see Brent Harvey here as he looks to shape. He goes to kick long, then he just drops his vision. Sees Gary Durkay very short, and he is a very good kick, Gary Durkay.
He's kicked 50 goals in his career, kicking from 55. Won't make the distance. Archer almost edged into that ball. It spills down in front, socket off the ground. Through the arms of Bolton it goes. Down towards half-back. An opportunity once again for Welch. He chips short. Could have almost been a free kick against Packett for too high on Grant. Shannon Grant will put the Roos into attack. Saints have got plenty of supporters here. The kick towards centre half forward. The Brown hand pass was like a bullet. It comes back towards the centre. Scott smothered. Francis couldn't get an effective kick away. The Roos are peppering. McCartney kicks it high towards half forward. Peckett, eyes on that ball all the time. And Justin Peckett takes the mark. Comes wide towards centre wing. Tony Francis on to Tony Brown. Boy, has he been busy. Barry Hall, look out, Barry. Oh, he strikes a couple, including Mighty McMartin. He strikes three. He gives it to Lenny Hayes. Hayes in front of his home crowd. Pulls it away to the left. And he's got it behind.
Bustling Barry Hall, showing the big strength that he's well known for, especially up here in the Harbour City. But yeah, just probably a bit of a rough handball here coming out. And here we look, Barry looks to give off the option. And the Sydney boys should have given that one off, I think. But the eyes lit up in his first game in front of his home crowd.
Here's Harvey on half-back, drifting it up towards centre wing to his co-small man, Peter Bell. Blakey does the shepherding to allow Bell to get a kick up towards half-forward. Unable to take any mark, but Simpson, that was fantastic roving, and he's kicked a goal! Well done by Adam Simpson.
Well, this is just the start that the Kangaroos are after. This is fantastic stuff. They've come out firing. Obviously, it's half-time. Dennis Pagan give the boys a bit of a serve. And,
nice to see you starting to pump yourself up too,
looking
Johnny.
forward to it. I'm absolutely ecstatic at the moment, Sandy.
Shades of D. Lewis last week.
The John Longmire uprising here. Let's go, Johnny. Let's get him home.
Hey, the Kangas.
Big goal by Simpson.
2 points the margin in a big comeback by the Kangaroos. Is it going to happen again? McKernan doing the work, gets it down towards half forward, and Blakey takes the mark. Johnny Blakey loves a long kick, and he goes for it now. There's no one home. They get back late. Abraham, Archer gets a hand to it. Hutchton's under pressure. He's ripped to the ground. Look at Archer working hard. Abraham also still tucked in that danger zone. They're not out of it yet, and we've got a throw in the left forward pocket.
John, it's important now the Kangaroos to go on with this. Obviously, they've got the start. We'll see here in the replay.
Oh, yes, it certainly is. And, I mean, that was you can see Johnny Blakey then looking to the goal square to try and bounce that one through, and just didn't make it.
Elliott, Archer holds it for a long time, then gets rid of it.
Looked like a push to me.
It did. Brown hand pass was okay. The Saints might make them pay. Down towards Hall. He's in front, Barry Hall, but it's belted clear of him. Out towards centre wing. Tony Francis involved in the clash. Here comes Robert Harvey. Back to Francis. Robert Scott couldn't take it, but Pickett could. Back to Harvey somehow. Now he's clear. Pickett gives chase. Harvey gets the kick. In towards full forward. They need a mark. It doesn't come their way. Walton, give it to Aussie. No, Walton decides to do it on his own. Perhaps he should have given it to Aussie, because Pike takes the mark on the last line of defence, and that could prove costly. They've got players streaming down the ground. Here they go now. Clayton's on the outer side. Gets around Thompson. and kicks it high in towards half forward. Winston Abraham leaves it, and out comes the rampaging Archer. Archer goes again. Couldn't take the mark. Stephen Zilla's got him.
And see the way that Glenn Archer attacked that footy. I don't know if we'll see a replay in a minute here, but Glenn Archer launched himself from about 20 metres away and went really hard at the footy. It was great stuff.
Here he comes. Look at that, like a road train. The Wakeland hand pass to Brown is okay, off to Young.
And all of a sudden, St Kilda just starting to look a little bit rattled. They've had a couple of shots in front of goal where individuals have tried to do it themselves rather than using options. And without doubt, Dale, I think the work rate of the Kangaroos be miles in front of the Saints.
They're in top gear now, Jared, that's for sure.
Thanks, Dip.
From the throw-in, Thompson gets a second bite at it. May need a third because it's been turned over. Bell chips in towards half forward. Oh, three of them in line there. McKernan got a hand to it, but couldn't complete the mark. Abraham was another one there. So too Gary Durkay. And we've got a ball up.
And touching on that work ethic, Jared, a great example was both Glenn Archer and Winnie Abraham in the forward pocket about 3 minutes ago. Just absolute dog-eat-dog just to keep the ball locked in.
2 points the margin. Look out, Blakey's lurking, but Young will cut across and head towards the line. Young does. Keeps it in play towards Thompson. Almost ran into his own teammate. He is ripped to the ground, loses the ball. Wakeland goes in for the assist. Throw it in.
Pressure that the Kangaroos now are applying all over the ground. The intensity certainly has lifted after half-time, and particularly in the forward line, they certainly are chasing out a lot harder.
Darryl Wakeland still out of this side, but Shane carrying the family name tonight. Simpson kicked a very good goal earlier in this quarter. He has slung over the line. No result that time for Adam Simpson. Young man from Eltham originally. Kangaroos hitting back very, very hard. Stephen Zilla defending for the Saints. Somehow finds a bit of space on that outer half back flank. Kicks it back towards centre wing. Oh, big charge. That can be dangerous. Ducking the head. The one who may come off second best is Mickey Martin. We'll keep an eye on him. He's still down on the ground. In the meantime, Pickett defending for the Kangaroos. Martin is still down. They're going to have to stop this play because it's near him, although Abraham has taken the mark.
There's a stretcher on the ground.
The stretcher's on the ground
There's
now.
another player down, another Kangaroo down. This is trouble. In towards full forward. Archer and McKernan are there. McKernan a snap. Goes too far across the face. Well, Martin has picked himself up. Let's just do a count here. Martin is up, but there is still another player.
Durkay.
In the hands of the trainers, and I tell you what, Jason Heatley, that could have been dangerous too. The head down, charging forward. Durkay's in trouble.
And Mickey's gone down with a clash of the heads. Gary Durkay's the real problem at the moment, and why that game continued with the stretcher out on the ground is beyond me. But Mick Martin also coming off with the blood rule, so a bit of a casualty ward here for the Kangaroos at the moment, John.
Yeah, certainly something that we don't need. The momentum was certainly in our favour, and when the stretcher comes out in the ground, obviously it's terribly bad luck for Gary Durkay, but you certainly like things to be keeping rolling your way.
So Evan Hewitt is back on the ground for Mick Martin, and Brett Allison is coming straight on. And, well, Dipper's going to have to do some work here to check on Gary Durkay for us, Dipper.
And taking him straight up the race and into the room.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. Not a good sign, is it? And in the meantime, Jared, Barry Hall is having a spell for Gavin Mitchell.
And the fact that he hasn't come through the interchange bench doesn't preclude him from coming back onto the ground, but it does mean he is off the ground until at least the end of this quarter.
Well, it's fairly hard to see, but we might see if we can have a look at this again. Just right on the left-hand side of your screen, but pretty difficult to pick up.
Well, it looked like it was a bump behind the scenes or just after the kick. But if it was just a bit of concussion, well, that'd be a good result for the Kangaroos, because I guess as soon as you see a stretcher come out, you immediately think the knee.
Walton off, Trianides on for the Saints. So the situation is it's a 2-point ball game. St Kilda leading. Ryan, but look out, because here comes the great courageous Archer. Boy, as he pumped him up. He's got to get a free kick there. Archer will take it.
And Glenn Archer looks as if he's going to lead the Kangaroos to a victory by himself. He has just been superb since going to the forward line.
He's like a man on a mission, John Longmire, at the moment. Zilla shrugs the tackle wide to Traianides, just come on for Walton. Traianides back towards centre wing. Getting underneath it was Joey McLaren. Stevens, they all get a cool bounce. Good one eventually for Joey McLaren. Nice little blind turn to no one in particular. There wasn't anyone there. Down towards half forward. McKernan towards the line, just flicks it over the top. Jason Heatley can't keep it in.
I think, sorry, Jerry, but I think Corey McKernan's actually gone back on to Jason Heatley at the moment.
Yeah, you're right, John. He has. The wrestling's allowed to go on. Francis tried to use the foot. There's a good smother by Thompson. He goes in again hard. Mitchell there also, but look at Thompson. Real little terrier. Off to Harvey. Around one, around two. He gets his kick. He gets his kick in towards goal. For a moment, it looked as though it was going to be very good. Wakeland is leaving the ground. I wonder if it's just an injury, Dipper. You're going to earn your money tonight. And coming on for the Saints is Matthew Carr for his first run as we have a look at Mickey Martin still receiving some attention. The walking wounded starting to increase in numbers, and the rain just starting to fall once again as Martin Pike dashes through the centre, comes down towards half forward. Archer and Hodgson. Archer gets a kind bounce. Look out. He kicks in towards the forward line.
We kick back to Glenn Archer, I think.
No, it's going the way of St Kilda.
And if you're a lip reader there, Sandy, turn the sound down.
Well, it's an interesting one. Let's have a look at it again and see what you can pick up. Nevertheless, Young has it. Goes in towards the centre. An opportunity for Rawlings.
Archer by himself.
And here he comes. No debate this time.
Glenn Archer certainly has put his hand up in this quarter. You can see a very good kick and good vision too by Brady Rawlings to spot Glenn Archer there, but he has been the difference, I think, in the two teams this quarter.
And Mick Martin on the ground again, boys, for the Kangaroos, and Joe Wakeland's okay, just having a bit of a rest.
Okay, thanks, Dipper.
Crucial that he kicks it, Sandy. They've had all the play yet to get their noses in front.
Yep.
It's just a must for them to go in, hopefully at the end of this quarter, for John's sake, in front.
And who better to do it than the 96 Norm Smith medalist?
You kick this one, John?
Yes.
30 metres out, 45-degree angle. It's a big kick for the Kangaroos, and he's done it. Glenn Archer has his second, but more importantly, the Kangaroos have hit the front.
Well, I think it's fair to say, Sandy, at half-time I underestimated the home ground advantage of the Kangaroos because they really have fought back.
So they're taking the one game, Jared.
The wind just pushing that one back a little bit.
First time in front. What a comeback by the Kangaroos. 19 points down. Now they lead. They go into attack again as the rain continues. Thompson shows his courage. Stevens chases. Lenny Hayes is there also. So too Ozzie Jones, and Oz sees it over the line.
Shannon, just some news on Gary Durko. Looks like he's just rolled his ankle, so nothing to do with the knees. They didn't want to risk it and took him off the ground straight away.
Thanks, Dipper. The Kangaroos kicked the first goal of the night. But since then, that was John Blakey. Since then, the Saints have had the lead up until now. Robert Scott on the defensive side of centre. Goes from one corner of the square to the other. That's a fine mark by Welch.
Not a great deal of marking targets up there. You've got Corey McKernan and Glenn Archer.
Kick has to be good. And as you said, you've got McKernan and Archer. Here's the latter.
Well, I think Tim Watson will be racking his brain to come up with another player to go down on to Glenn Archer. They don't stand out and stare you in the face, but there's a real problem down here now for St Kilda. His name's Glenn Archer, and he's got 2 goals, and he's about to kick his 3rd.
Same spot as he was just a minute or so ago. Perhaps a little further out. This to stretch the Kangaroos' lead to 9 points. 35 metres out.
He's done it again.
3 goals to Glenn Archer. And that is 5 goals to the Kangaroos in this quarter. St Kilda have been unable to answer for some considerable time.
We're looking at the replay there. Maxie Hudson misjudged his leap. Glenn Archer, perfect timing. Goes back and slots through another one, pretty much in the same position.
Five goals without a miss to the Kangaroos. St Kilda's reply, 2 points. Back in the middle again. A mighty comeback as this misty rain continues to fall.
Just see the restructured forward line. They've got Anthony Mellington and Glenn Archer coming out of the goal square, and all the rest of the players are medium-sized players, not too many marking options on this slippery night.
Saw Adam Simpson there. He kicked a goal in the 3rd term. They go down towards half-forward. Blakey, the lightning hand pass is okay. Bell kicks towards half-forward. Mellington came to meet it. Couldn't get an effective touch. Oh, Archer off the ground. I thought he was going to do it again. One behind.
Certainly having a purple patch, Glenn Archer.
And Freddie Ellison more than happy with that effort there with the drop kick off the ground. But just a bloke who needs a mention here, Jared, is Martin Pike doing a great job on Justin Peckett, one of the real playmakers for the Saints.
Yep. Stuart Lowe came over the top, couldn't take it. Blakey did well to McKernan, then copped one in the back, Blakey, and it's going to come back to the Arden Street veteran. Started with Fitzroy back in 85. Fitzroy's gone, he's still here.
And only 2 players in St Kilda's half of the ground.
Yep, McLaren and Pickett. This is Shannon Grant. Archer again the target. He was the meat in the sandwich. They're going nowhere.
Just by the simple way that Glenn Archer is leading towards the footy now, he's actually drawing the ball towards him. You can see the North Melbourne players or the Kangaroo players up the ground just being drawn to Glenn Archer's leads the way he's going for the footy.
6.5 minutes remaining. Tony Brown, a blind punt out of defence. Almost gets it back to centre wing. Mitchell's at the back of the pack. Sweeps the hand pass inboard. This is going to be okay to Carr. He has a look downfield. Well, there's only a couple, as we said, in that zone. The kick is not a good one. It may depend on the bounce. And that is going to favour North Melbourne initially. Now Traianides comes in. Got a boot to, but that was all. The hand pass is shot out wide. The Kangaroos have got the numbers. They have lifted. They're out of trouble. Back towards centre wing. Pike is there. Peckett belts it away, but it's taken by Blakey. Up towards Pike. Peckett did well to intercept and push it over the line.
Probably the better option for Johnny Blakey then would have been to kick it to the top of the square. Went to go for the handball, and it was a good interception by Peckett.
Just in the Kangaroos attacking zone. Critical time now for St Kilda. Looking the goods in the 2nd quarter. Robert Scott's kick goes in towards the right forward pocket. Carr's going to run out of room. Shut in the back, said the umpire. Matthew Carr's got a free kick.
The Saints across the board look as if they need an injection of vigour and enthusiasm. This is a desperate situation here. They're up against the side pretty keen, I would think, John, to erase from the memory a couple of second-half fade-outs.
That's right, Terry. Their back is to the wall, and I think that the North Melbourne, the Kangaroo players, have responded fantastically this second half.
Here's Mickey Martin taking the mark and kicking long in towards full forward. Thompson is at the back. The Saints have the numbers, but Thompson is quite happy to concede it behind.
Probably an example of the pressure that's been applied there. There was 3 St Kilda players by themselves. They had plenty of time to pick the footy up, but went the conservative option.
11 points the margin. This has been a 30-point turnaround. Young brings it in and finds Ryan. Mellington on the mark. The former Tiger kicks towards centre wing. Strong mark taken by Simpson. Having a good night, Simpson.
Apparently he's playing on Robert Harvey, but once again we see North Melbourne Kangaroo players going hard and straight at the football. St Kilda players sitting back spectating.
Capuano back on for Mellington and Bell directly in front.
Well, desperate times for the Saints, and you see here most players looking around for their own man, not attacking the ball, and subsequently Peter Bell comes in and takes a nice mark.
He's kicked one so far in this match. That was earlier in this quarter. He's gone close to the man on the mark. He's kicked another one. Great goal to Peter Bell. This is unbelievable.
That was the very extent that Peter Bell can kick, I think. He was absolutely stretched to the limit, given everything he had, and you can just see Adam Simpson, the ball went off the side of his boot here, and as Dale called it, I think Peter Bell was the only one that read it properly.
Superb pass.
Superb.
Come on, he's your teammate. Saints fans somewhat stunned as the Kangaroos take charge. It's Lenny Hayes out of the middle. St Kilda need a reply, and they need it smartly. Mitchell lurking, he'll get the chance. Gavin Mitchell high, and he's done it for the Saints. Maybe that'll get them going.
Once again, the importance of the centre break. St Kilda then, I think it's fair to say, had a very good effort in the centre bounce area. Got the ball going, just pushed the footy forward, and the ball landed in the dangerous area, and Mitchell does kick these goals very well.
First goal for St Kilda this quarter.
And they're going to need more than just the one, aren't they? I'm sure that North Melbourne won't let the ball come out of this centre as easily. That's a sort of move that will kill you on this ground.
Under 4 minutes remaining. Low in ruck against Capuano. Hayes in the middle. He works hard, but he's not going to get it out this time. Comes the way of Simpson. Pumps it long, but again, not well directed. Taken by Peckett. Justin Peckett towards Matthew Carr. Floating hand pass over the top is going to be okay. Gives it away to Ryan. He looks down towards half forward. Kick dropped a little too short, but Tony Francis there to butter up. Mitchell gives it off to Hayes. Lenny goes short, that's okay. The Saints are steadying it down again. Joey McLaren's got it. Not a lot on offer.
Just not what the Kangaroos want here. If St Kilda get the last couple of goals just before three-quarter time.
He's kicking to a fairly strong win at the moment. The Blues are certainly picked up here.
And it's aiding him, Dipper.
No, he's kicking against it.
We haven't got a flag in sight here, and he drifts it away to the right, and eventually over the line for one behind.
And Gary Durkhe's back on the north bench. He's actually walked around the boundary line and sitting with his teammates on the bench now. It's good news.
Pickett has the ball. Brings it back in. Shannon Grant over the top. So they're out of trouble. Martin Pike will go round the outer side. Lenny Hayes gives chase. Been pretty busy since coming on. He'll be loving this in front of his home crowd. Finds his man in. Ozzie Jones on centre wing. That's ambitious, Oz. A bounce with a wet ball, but it's okay. Finds Tony Francis. Almost pile driven into the ground, but he picks himself up. Brent Harvey's on the mark.
Giving away 50 metres on this ground is deadly, and he was very lucky not to get that one given against him then. Hold on.
He goes wide. That's okay. Peckett wants to go. Justin. 55 out, forced onto the left. He kicks in towards full forward. Simpson comes dashing through, but lost the football in the process. Now they go again. Simpson, the second effort was good on Trianides. He locks it up.
He went for the smallest option then. I mean, you know, there's some taller players down further there.
Long bomb stepper.
Not long bombs, but yeah, a Lowy or maybe a young Joey McLaren.
No, I guess that's one of the problems that you rob Peter to pay Paul when you put Stuart Lowe into the ruck. He would have been handy to be sitting down there in the goal square, but right at the moment when Jason Heatley leads, there isn't a tall marking option in St Kilda's forward line.
Brett Allison just coming back out onto the ground. Capuano goes over the top, but it goes straight to Harvey. Harvey pumps it high, but he's wide and away to the right.
And another torpedo.
Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the official attendance of the SCG tonight.
You certainly do lift when you see those torps, John Longmire. Crowd of 11,314 here at the SCG tonight. Well,
I'll tell you what, in these conditions, that's a very good crowd.
My word, this is a starting point and historic night in many ways for the Kangaroos. Here's Jason Trianides in the meantime for St Kilda. Centering kick, Francis. Well, that was interesting. Matthew Carr, just as interesting. Pulling it in with the one hand. A beauty. He's got Harvey on centre wing. Francis running with him, but Harvey elects to go. Now he chips it over the top. Perhaps a little too short, and Brent Harvey tidies up for the Kangaroos.
And another St Kilda forward thrust has broken down with a little chip kick that hasn't gone to the target. And they're the ones that could cost the Saints. This is a different Kangaroo side than the one that went in at half-time. And
Harvey towards centre wing. There was plenty of holding on there. McKernan can't believe it. Lowe was in front of him. He gives it away to Matty Young. Young in towards the centre. Trainees has got it.
the overlap.
Under a minute remaining. They're desperate for another goal. Wider to Stephen Ziller. Ziller's just forward of centre. A couple of kicks for a score. Pass is on. The lead was there to Mitchell.
Well, he really did lose Robert Scott then. He ran back towards the goals, and as he was well and truly out of kicking distance, Scott tended to forget about him, and he ducked around the back and presented himself a second time and came up with a shot.
This to make the margin 3 points. And it'll just about be the last kick before three-quarter time. Mitchell kicked the only goal St Kilda has scored in this quarter, and he has not added to that. A fantastic comeback quarter by the Kangaroos.
Well, there's no doubt the fellow with the button on the siren is a Kangaroo supporter, because he hit that button at the most inappropriate time if you were Gavin Mitchell.
Yes, it wasn't bad timing at all.
St Kilda adding 1 goal 4 in that quarter. The Kangaroos booting 6 goals 2. There's Martin Pike and Mickey Martin. Not a lot of hair between those, a huge amount of brains. And it's good to see the boys pumping themselves up for a big final quarter, Johnny Longmire.
Yes, and I think that, I mean, obviously Glenn Archer was the main person involved there. He really led from the front. We started getting the footy for it. It was great.
So three-quarter time, and we're in for a big final quarter. Saturday night football here on 7. Final quarter at the SCG. This is a history-making night for the Kangaroos. Their home game at the SCG, and they're looking for the 4 points. McKernan out of the middle. He was pumping his teammates up at three-quarter time too. Peckett leads in the race. He leads Allison. Pushes towards the line. We've got a throw in.
Evan Hewitt is onto the ground into the forward line. Would be probably doing the ruck work in the Kangaroos forward line, with Corey McKernan dropping behind the footy.
There is Hewitt, as you mentioned, locking arms with Stuart Lowe. Harvey there once again. He's caught by Hewitt. Gets a short little kick. Thompson, playing in game number 50, has got himself a free kick. Had a pretty good start to the year, Andrew Thompson. Goes wide to the outer side, and Stuart Lowe. Stewie comes inboard. Had a couple there. Tony Brown, who's been very effective tonight. Matty Young there also. Brown takes it, chips to half forward. Lowe has dropped down. This first minute or so, vital. Young gives the hand pass away. Stephen Ziller is 55 metres out. He goes long. McKernan goes high. And at the back, it is Robert Scott seeing it over the line. But there's a free kick being picked up, and it's going the way of McKernan. He plays on straight away, gives it back to Robert Scott. He got a decent old shove in the back. Now the advantage is being played. And they've suddenly got it down to centre wing and Winston Abraham. So the positive thrust by St Kilda comes to a halt just for the moment. Stuart Lowe waiting down in front of the pack. On all fours, he gets the hand pass out. Tim Elliott forced to bend down and pick it up and then lope away. And he does it well, the big man. Up towards half forward. Mickey Martin sets himself. Jason McCartney was there as well. Martin got another look at it. Eventually they push it back towards the centre. St Kilda has the numbers. Elliott has the ball. To half forward. Mitchell again a target. Taken high. No free kick. Shannon Grant plays on. Almost left it for his teammate. Maybe a lack of talking. Barry Hall is looking for a free kick from somewhere.
Or in fact, maybe a lack of the umpire putting the whistle to the mouth there for Shannon Grant. I think blatantly pushed off the ball trying to enforce a shepherd.
Matty Capuano starting this final quarter on the bench. McCartney and Hall. Both go at it. Walton, claim. Did get rid of it, however. Deeper into the forward line. Mitchell applies a late tackle. It comes wide. Zilla leads in the race. It'll beat him over the line, however. And we've got a throw in.
Well, pretty desperate stuff down in the St Kilda forward line. With no Stuart Lowe down there, it's going to be a fair bit of responsibility on Barry Hall. And just the last couple of times they've gone into the forward line, Hall's been forward of the football and there's been no marking target. 9
points the margin. Simpson the big fists. McLaren the kick is wide. Robert Scott will bring it back in. No addition to the score in this final term. The Kangaroos lead by 9 points. Scott kicks to a congested centre wing area. Low a little too far underneath it, unable to take it. Well, it's kept in play by Elliott. Gets the hand pass away to Harvey. Harvey gets another one towards Tony Francis. Francis looks down towards the forward line. Welsh cuts across, tries to take the mark. Leaves Mitchell to do the roving in front. He had it. He lost it. He goes again. He's taken out of it. It's sucked away from his hands, but straight to Lowe. He's in trouble. Claimed again. Francis tries to get through. Spears the hand pass back to Mitchell. Mitchell can finish it off for the Saints. And he does.
Well, the Saints, it was a big one. The Saints had to get that first goal. If the Kangaroos had taken it out to a 15-point margin, it would have been a pretty tough ask from there, but this is set up for a cliffhanger.
You see Robert Scott then actually went for the ball when the ball's in the air, and Mitchell did a very good job to stay on the ground.
Gavin Mitchell now has 2, but that was a big goal. Out of the middle, it's Harvey for the Saints. Up towards half forward, belted away from Festival Hall. Waiting down in front was Francis, unable to take it cleanly. Pressure now on the Kangaroos as they push it up towards centre wing, courtesy of Welsh, and over the line.
The Kangaroos will just have to reorganise their centre bounce setup, because McKernan clearly got the first use of the ball. He tapped it forward and there was only St Kilda players there.
Robert Harvey very quick off the back of the square then.
Lowe doing the ruck work with Hewitt through the arms of Simpson. Little toe poke by Simpson again over the line. 3-point ball game at the moment. The Kangaroos leading.
Elliott dropping back into the hole.
Lowe with the right hand. Simpson a little flick. Clayton over the top of Lowe, who trapped it well. He needs support. Brown goes in strongly. Clayton close to the line. Thompson right on his hammer. Archer there as well for the Kangaroos. Another throw in. There's Maxie Hodgson. Kicked a memorable goal as far as Max was concerned earlier in the night. McKernan over the top. Harvey had it and lost it. Archer with strength gets the hand pass away. Brent Harvey kicks towards full forward. Belted clear. Waiting down maybe McKernan. Can't get there in time. Nipping in front of him was Stephen Zilla. And the Sizzler takes it over the line.
See Anthony Stevens demanding the players to get out, give their forwards a bit of a space to work in.
Kangaroos hoping to take advantage while it's down there. Brett Harvey, if he can keep it in play. He can't.
And obviously a little bit disappointed with the bounce of the ball there. Got to be careful of those ground mics.
Still in the left forward pocket. Low from the back, but straight down to Winston Abraham, partly smothered and touched over the line by Hodgson.
The Kangaroos looking to fashion a goal out of something here. They've just been working hard, had to play in their forward line for the last 3 or 4 minutes, and a goal here would really set them on their way.
McKernan and Lowe.
They've cleared all the space between the ruck tap and the goal square.
Out the back door, Pike tries to use his strength. Doesn't pay off. Saints have got the numbers. Away dashes Mitchell. Thought about Harvey, then goes wide into Thompson. Thompson gives it back to Harvey. Draws the player, then gives it across to Heatley. Heatley's on right half forward. They need someone down there to take a mark, but there's no one home. Robert Scott. Scott plays on. Plenty of time though. Pickett's alone. He's got Shannon Grant wider. He uses that player now. This is like circle work at the moment. Shannon Grant comes inboard. In towards the middle. Has to be accurate this one. It wasn't. Thompson not paid the mark. Abraham plays on and picks it up. Saints fans can't believe it. Abraham goes down to Archer and he marks 52 metres out. He plays on. He's got Peter Bell in the pocket. Well, incredible. I thought the mark may have been paid.
Well, it was a contentious one. He had 3 grabs at it, but I think where St Kilda did let themselves down was just a long bomb by Jason Heatley to 3 North Melbourne players. He'd been better off just stopping, even pushing the ball over the boundary line. It was going nowhere.
Big kick for the Kangaroos and Peter Bell. Kick 2 in the 3rd term. It's a pretty good looking kick, but one behind only for Bell.
What do you think of the mark, Di?
Oh, I thought it was a mark, especially in these conditions. The guy back had another good grab it on the way down, but yeah, for F, he should have got that at least.
What about you, John?
Well, you could nearly pay that, I think, tonight. Shannon Grant be very relieved it wasn't.
You seem to be applauding the decision at the time.
Oh, dear.
John Longmire and Dale Lewis with us in the commentary position as Young looks towards Heatley. Mickey Martin is right there with him. And Mick belts it clear, does well, keeps it in the zone. A throw in. Low from behind, pushes down in front. Simpson was in front of Harvey. Here's Brent Harvey, another short kick. Ball was bouncing inside the line. There'll be another throw in.
Might be just worthwhile someone coming over the back of Evan Hewitt here and trying to flick it over the back and having a running player like a Brett Allison darting into space.
The Saints have got an extra down there because Robert Scott is free by himself in the middle of the ground.
The Harvey hand pass wide towards the line. Brent Harvey keeps it in for Anthony Stevens. Good smother by Aussie Jones. The Thompson hand pass, where it goes astray. Anthony Stevens forced onto that right boot. He passes into the forward line. Well done by the boy from Shepparton because he's found Corey McKernan.
Anthony Stevens did throw it onto that right boot. Didn't look pretty, but it was certainly very effective. You can see him here on his wrong side. Just banged it onto the right foot. Went forward and
no punch from Stewie.
The big fist certainly worked. Big kick for McKernan directly in front, and Corey McKernan gives the Kangaroos some breathing space. McKernan kicks his first, but a very, very big goal in the context of this game. 10 points is the margin.
We're looking at the replay here, just a bit of a hustle and bustle here. St Kilda guys get mixed up. Steve-O brings back the banger. And here we have it, a great mark. Stuart Lowe going for a mark from behind, undisciplined play.
The banger.
The banger.
The banger. Under 12s, Redan, Ballarat. That's where it's from.
Corey McKernan kicks his first goal of the night. The Kangaroos 13. Gives them a little bit more space. Certainly not enough yet. Out of the middle. Lowe works hard. Gets it down to half forward. Bell had it. Lost it. Regained it. Could have almost got a free kick, but he persisted and he kicks back towards the centre. Good work. The mark taken by McKernan.
And I just thought that effort of Anthony Stevens to set up that other goal was reflective of North Melbourne's second half. It's just they've just willed themselves back into this contest.
Hewitt takes the mark at half forward for the Kangaroos.
Stewie Lowe might have been going for another mark then. Didn't see Evan Hewitt out of the corner of his eye. You can see Corey McKernan put the ball long. Stewie probably thought he was by himself. Evan drifted across the front. A very good second effort for a mark.
The boy from Subiaco who made his debut in '97. Still just 20 years of age.
Well, John, last week we had Tony Lockett putting the Mozzer on a few boys. Will he kick this one?
Certainly will, no doubt about it.
It's all right, I put the Moz on North Melbourne at half-time.
He kicked 14 so far in his career. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the factory of Moz.
You wouldn't read it there.
Interesting, Sandy, that all full forwards who wrap their teammates up seem to always go and miss. They mustn't watch him kick for goal at training.
Justin Peckett then will bring it back. 86 plays 75. Peckett towards Tony Brown. That's a good kick. Brown's away. He's in the spot of bother. He gives it off to Harvey, who shrugs one. Kicks short to Joey McLaren on centre wing. Tries to make the space. Well done. Well, initially it was well done by McLaren. He was trying to get it back to Harvey. Ironically, it finishes with Harvey. Over the top, Thompson on centre wing. Towards Hall. And Barry has marked a long way from home. Wants to get on with it. Not a pretty punt in towards full forward. Mickey comes charging out. And that kick lands short and lands on the chest of Joey McLaren. Wasting no time. McLaren's got Elliott in the pocket. He casually touched mine. Have a look at this.
Well, just one thing to do after you take a good hanger like that, Jared, and let's go back and slot it straight through.
Well, that's the theory, but the way Tim's been looking for options, he's not all that confident, but he's only got to make good connection and put it through like that.
Oh, look at that. What a piece of play from Tim Elliott and the Saints.
Terrific skills from the big man here, pushing forward, and there's probably nothing better than a ruckman when you see him push forward and provide a target. And have a look at this one-handed grab.
Tony Brown off, and Lenny Hayes back on and being asked to perform in front of his home crowd. A memorable mark and a memorable goal for Tim Elliott and St Kilda. They're alive again. McLaren claimed by Simpson and Pickett. And a ball up.
And Adam Simpson, he's another player that North Melbourne have brought into this team over the last few years. It's very hard at the footy and does a good job in the middle.
Pickett's kick smothered. There is the man you're talking about, Simpson. He did get a kick, albeit a short one towards McLaren. Pushes further afield to Francis. In trouble. Taken to ground. Walton keeps it in play. He does well. McLaren very wide. Close for Lenny Hayes. You got it!
I think he had the football and he was heading home there, John.
Yeah, we can. Probably the last 5 minutes, you can just feel the Saints lifting here. Oh, I reckon that was pretty close.
Well, play goes on. Thompson couldn't take it. Simpson can. Around the body, it's high. Young. Courageous mark. Going with the flight of the ball. Thought about McLaren short and also Hayes, but wants Barry Hall. And has got him. You're off, Barry. Chipping in towards half-forward. Heatley comes out on the lead. And if you wanted Deadeye Dick to shoot for you at a crucial time in a game, this would be the man.
John, I'll start mozzing now, mate. You reckon he'll kick this, John?
No doubt about it, straight through the centre, Dipper.
Brady Rawlings back on for the Kangaroos. Heatley's booted 4. All of those in the first half. He's directly in front.
And these are the ones you paid for.
This to give St Kilda the lead. He's kicking from 51 metres. Here's away to the right. And the horse has done it again. One behind.
Capuano on now for Kangaroos and Hewitt off.
Capuano actually going to the forward line and not onto the ball.
Shannon Grant. Getting a let off the Kangaroos. With that miss from Heatley. Welsh comes wide to Pickett. He can go over the top to Bell on centre wing. Elects to go inboard. This is dangerous. Simpson, that's a strong mark.
You got to punch from behind, boys.
And once again, a critical mistake there, just not dropping the ball down in the front of the feet with a punch.
Simpson in towards half forward. Who's going to be first to recover it? Maybe Abraham, it may be Pike. Ryan is edged off it by Pike to give Abraham a chance. Gone, Winston gets the hand pass away to Pike. Pike bends it back. Oh, Pikey, have you done it? You have kicked an amazing goal. Unbelievable. is it Blakey?
I think we've had the haircuts mixed up there, Sandy.
Oh, golly.
Just like a bottle of good wine, actually, Sandy, Johnny Blakey.
Unbelievable.
Getting better with age. Have a look at this.
Yeah, Winston Abraham nearly just did too much. Just good awareness there. Got it out to Johnny Blakey, who looks awfully like Martin Pikey, but the result was all that counted.
Well, for a moment I gave Martin Pike one of the goals of the year, so you can pay me, Pikey, but it was John Blakey. Sensational effort, though, by Blakey. And we've got another ball up in the middle.
Let's not forget Pikey set it up. He knocked that guy over, so we give him some credit there, Sandy.
He was a part of it. 10 points.
Crucial, the punch back from Justin Peckett that should have probably happened in the centre of the ground in a goal.
Lowe got a hand to it, but he'll be asked to do it again. Here it is again. And just a great snap by John Blakey.
As they say, Sandy, the goals never move, so you just keep kicking.
And he's wrapped the veteran. That was his second. He kicked one in the first term. Here's the Lenny Hayes hand pass. Welsh intercepts. Kicks long to half forward. Hutchton over the top with the big fist. That's what they need. Zilla pounced upon and loses it. Socketed back into the centre. Taken by McKernan. Wobbles a punt to half forward. No one at home. Elliott takes them up.
They got the couple of players loose on the wing, the Saints, but Elliott's found one down the middle.
In Thompson. Well, this is a big thrust, and they'll get a free kick here with a close to a coat hanger there on Walton.
And Walton was pretty lucky there because he took the gamble of trying to cross directions in the soft area of the ground.
Here's Hall. Needing assistance, getting it from Ryan. Chips it in towards full forward. Martin slaps it with the one hand, then he's got to clean up Thompson. Thompson gets it out to Harvey. Harvey shrugs one. This could be miraculous. It could, but it's not. It's out of bounds on the full.
I think that pocket's used up all its miraculous goals tonight, Sandy, but probably a kick to the top of the square may be the better option.
What a big finish here at the SCG. There's Matty Capuano. The Kangaroos hanging on by 10 points.
Mellington on for the Kangaroos, going to full forward.
Takes dipper. Martin Pike to bring it back in. Martin with Lowe. Stolen by Ryan, who gives it to McLaren. He chips short. That's okay.
Johnny.
Jason Heatley on a tight angle. Well, Dale Lewis just said this pocket might have used up all its good luck. Jason Heatley will be hoping that is not the case. Kicking for number 5.
Jason Heatley is a very accurate kick for goal. Probably the best from the set shot in the AFL along with Plugger, so I wouldn't put this out of his reach.
It's the biggest moz I've heard.
The 10 points is the current margin. Starts it right, stays right. 9 points the margin.
You'd think I'd have good money on North Melbourne tonight, the way I'm sticking with Johnny Longmire up here, Sandy.
Tell you what, it's critical now for the Saints. With just 6 minutes to go, they've got to score at least 2 goals to win this. And the way that North Melbourne, the Kangaroos, have got a sniff, they're going to be tough to get.
Shannon Grant to Anthony Stevens. Stevens, not a good kick, but Harvey dropped it. It was a difficult one to grab, that spinning ball. Simpson on all fours. Back to Stevens again. Tried to make a little ground. Did so towards centre wing. Lenny Hayes tries to keep it. Oh! Down goes Lenny Hayes, but he picks himself up. He's a tough cookie, this youngster.
Tell you what, the bloke that barreled him is also Glenn Archer.
I'll tell you what, knock, knock. Oh, who's there?
Don't know.
Archer's asking what for.
Like running into a brick wall.
You're at the SCG, Lenny.
Well, I wonder what the decision was for. Was it for charging or?
Surely if it was, it's got to be 50, doesn't it?
Well, it's a pretty good hip and shoulder bump. Lenny had the football and he hit him down the middle.
McLaren down to half forward. Mitchell can't keep it in. A throw in.
What do you think, Dipper? You were as close to it as anybody.
I just think it got a little bit high there, but it was a full tackle there, but nothing too vicious.
Low. McKernan. Here's Joe McLaren. Peppering away to the right, but never behind.
the value of Stewie Lowe knocking it over in the forward line again and having a running player run onto it. He's done that a couple of times tonight.
Here it is again, boys. Pickett brings it back in. Shannon Graham to Stevens. Been the pattern.
You only get so many opportunities, Sandy, and the Saints have wasted a number of them in the last couple of minutes.
Stevens kicks over centre wing. Archer. Oh. Not to be. Elliott is given the football. Paul calls for it short. He elects to go longer towards Lowe. Caught out of position, however, in the mark taken by McKernan. Corey's in no rush. Still 4 3/4 minutes remaining. The margin 8 points. He's got Peter Bell. Bell towards centre lane. That's a great use of the body by Blakey. Away he scoots. He's enjoying himself now, John Blakey, after that big goal. Kicks up towards the centre half forward. Critical now for Walton. He's caught! And there'll be a ball up.
That was a good decision because there was no chance for Ben Walton to get rid of that footy. Good tackle though, puts the pressure back on the Saints.
Sure was. Elliott out of the air. Young, the hand pass okay. Harvey centering, beautifully done.
Oh.
Joey McLaren. Well, he recovers. He's fortunate. France is going with him.
No one in the goal square.
Can he go all the way? It's a drop punt. It's long. It won't go all the way. Robert Scott got it.
Did he get a hand to it?
Hand to it? I don't know that he did. Lenny Hayes looks on.
Well, he butted up beautifully. He made it blue. He's made a couple in the last couple of minutes. But the goal square was always vacant. And why Robert Scott didn't just stretch out and take a mark even is, I guess, a question he'll ponder later on this evening. He won't care if they win.
Here is a replay of that long goal for Joe McLaren. Robert Scott not lunging at it, unable to get a hand on it. A goal, the end result.
And the wet track does take spin.
No doubt about that. 2 points the margin.
Once again, McKernan just straight to the Saints.
Pickett defends. Byron Pickett on half-back.
It was well read by Byron Pickett. His man was taking him away from the centre corridor, but he had the courage of his convictions to push down across to it.
3.5 minutes remaining, and John Blakey showing his years of experience.
And the big horse is certainly quieting down here on the end of the panel, Sandy.
Hard to get a word out of him at the moment.
Yes, it's certainly something we didn't need that goal, but wouldn't be surprised now if the Kangaroos start dropping a couple of players behind the footy.
Lowe and McKernan just in the Kangaroos attacking zone. Ziller at the back there. Punched clear. Brown unable to take it. Almost thrown out to Brent Harvey. He gets a high kick to the forward line. Tim Elliott at the back. 1, 2 grabs. No mark. Oh, Allison. He was on his way then, but he just went out of room and he lost the ball.
And Johnny, your wish is my command. The Roos have put 2 back already, just back here through the centre of the ground. Peter Bell and I'm not sure who's that trotting out to the outer wing.
Anthony Stevens. Yep.
As we can see, only 3 minutes left.
Blakey's there. Low with the one hand. Thompson got the hand pass away. Justin Pickett on the last line. Pickett comes wide. Walton, a big ask. Can he recover in time? He can, but he can't keep it in. Well done by Welch as well.
You can see now there's Peter Bell, Robert Scott, Anthony Stevens all behind the ball.
Come to the SCG on a Saturday night for a big finish. And you'll certainly get it, no doubt about that. Harvey to Francis. The Saints need the next goal. Thompson goes inboard to Francis again. Tries to find some space. Back to Harvey. Holds it for a long time. Back to Thompson. Up towards centre wing. Martin in front. Shovel it down in front. McLaren gets the hand pass away. Carr gives it off to Pickett. Pickett goes inside to Ziller. Ziller gets caught. He loses it. Walton and Welch pounce on it again. Look at them. Like seagulls over a leftover sandwich. And we'll have another ball up.
And they had Aussie Jones running through to the goal square. Steve Ziller just needed to be able to get a bit more purchase on that kick. And fantastic pressure there from the Kangaroos.
This is a fantastic finish. Great night for the Kangaroos as they play their first home game here, and the crowd really getting involved. Plenty of Saints fans here as well. Elliott's got it on half back. Kicks up towards centre half forward with under 2 minutes remaining. Low, Stewie Low. Caught, gets it wide to Festival Hall. Can he pick it up, Big Barry? He can. Around he goes. In towards Mitchell. 2 out, couldn't take it cleanly. Bell towards the line. And a tired Anthony Stevens plods towards it and is quite happy to see it over the line. Just trying to do it in a subtle fashion, I think, G.
Beautifully done.
1.5 minutes remaining.
Well, they were in a close one last week, St Kilda, and got over the line courtesy of Tony Francis.
Low, lost it. Bell towards half back. Locked up on Stephen Ziller.
And not a North Melbourne player, or even a Kangaroos one for that matter, in their forward half.
McKernan plucks it and kicks it high to the outer side. Pike doing the work from behind. He needs assistance. May get a chance now. Up towards right half forward. Allison caught behind. He's got to give chase. Close to the boundary line. He's got Packett. He takes him over the line. Throw it in, says the umpire. A minute remaining, but more importantly, the Kangaroos have it in their attacking zone and have locked it up. Now, St Kilda have got to get it out and down the other end. What a finish. Elliott, 1-2. Is he giving away the free kick? He has, said the umpire.
What do you do here, John? Do you waste time and chip the ball backwards, or do you try and kick a goal?
I would go back, take as much time as I could.
But Anthony Stevens 40 metres behind him with nobody there.
Yeah, they'll try and use up the time clock here.
Will the players know how much time there is left?
Here we go.
Oh, they'd have a fair idea. Obviously, they see the 29-minute mark on the clock. We do practice this at training. It's obviously a pretty good skill to do. You can see the players just sharing it around now. There'll be no hurry to go forward.
Well, you've practiced it pretty well. Working a treat at the moment. It's back to Stevens on centre wing.
St Kilda probably need to man up at this stage because that's probably the best technique that they can do at this stage of the game.
Got it down to 23 seconds. They have given a little ground. Peter Bell gets around now. Kicks it up towards half forward. Hodgson is forced to defend. St Kilda running out of time as Pike pushes towards the line.
Well, Jared, it's not pretty stuff, but it's very effective, isn't it?
No, this is just an amazing comeback by the Kangaroos. I didn't give them a chance at half-time. Underestimated that home ground advantage, of course, but what a fight back, and this will go a long way to erasing the memories of last week for the Kangaroos.
19 points down at half-time and kicked just 6 goals for the half. They're going to win this game tonight in an absolute thriller. Elliott gets a hand, and the Roos have a home ground victory. A gutsy win by the Kangaroos. Glenn Arts inspirational when he was moved down into that forward zone. Looking down the barrel at half-time. They have come back and come back very, very hard. Let's go down to the ground. Here's Dipper.
Thanks very much, Sandy. Well, the first thing you said to me was great win there, boys, and a great win by the boys.
Yeah, I suppose everyone was out on their feet at the end, but I suppose it's just a matter of getting over the line. But it's a fantastic win, like without Wayne tonight. Just a great effort by the boys.
The pressure was on you guys, obviously second half failures the last couple of weeks, and I'm sure that was mentioned at half-time.
Oh, not really. I think the whole vibe of the week was really to be positive, and I think Dennis just carried that over at half-time. I think we're down by 18 points, but I suppose, as I said before, full credit to the guys, just a great win.
And to play here at the SCG, do you think you're giving away a home advantage from playing the MCG?
Not really. I don't mind. It's such a small ground. I suppose once you get used to it, it's not too bad.
Well played, mate. Everyone's waiting for you. Well done, mate. Good on you.
And Corey McKernan, he certainly should be Dipper because he had 19 possessions and 9 hitouts in that, mainly in the second half. He was dominant after half-time and a great performance by him.
Well, winners are grinners. There goes Jason McCartney, Welsh, Mellington, a delighted Peter Bell, Robert Scott and Brett Allison. Plenty of Kangaroo fans here, which is good to see, and great positive signs for the future. On the other hand, St Kilda, cliche 11C, gallant in defeat they were, but I would imagine they'd be bitterly disappointed having thrown away a very good lead and just watched as the Kangaroos perhaps thought, well, they seized the moment, didn't they? St Kilda almost dozed off for a moment, perhaps thinking they were well and truly home. It wasn't to be.
I certainly hope that silences a few critics out there who are 19 points behind at half-time, and the way we come out after half-time was a credit to the boys, and I mean, it was a real battle in that third quarter, and Glenn Archer really provided the spark for us.
You got a couple of critics tonight, the poor second half ones, and also the no Carey, no Kangaroos.
Yes, we've certainly had our fair share of critics. I know Corey McKinnon was also one that had his critics, so perhaps that's a good thing. It certainly is, certainly sparked the boys tonight.
Do you think, Dale, sometimes you can go in at half-time just a little bit too comfortable, that you've extended your leads from 6 points to 18 points, seemingly with the game in hand, and the brain just wanders off somewhere?
Yeah, definitely, Jared. I think the Saints boys, everything was cruising, falling their way, playing really good football, and I suppose with Kangaroos' history over the last couple of weeks, they felt that they might just drop away, so they came out expecting things to happen. They were confronted with a fired-up Kangaroos, and the story has been told.
2 points, the eventual margin, 14-8 to 13-12, and I'm sure the boys from Arden Street will be in pretty good voice as they sing the club song.
Kangaroos back at the SCG, June 12 versus the West Coast Eagles. Top of the table, the West Coast Eagles.